We're
Hello.
here.
We didn't send an announcement, did we? You did. You're smart.
I
You're
did.
awaker than I am.
I
I am. We died yesterday.
I never thought I would be the type to complain about loud music, but no, that's very much. I
I
don't
could
like
hear it in
parties.
my bones.
Hey! Hi! I'm so excited. Wait, is it going through my wing? It is. I need to move myself.
Is what going through your mind?
Background things.
It
Wait,
would, wouldn't it?
There we go. God. Last time was pretty insane, though.
It's a crazy
Holy
scene.
shit. No! Not that scene!
What scene? I was just talking about last time.
Yeah, that was... I cried
A
so
crazy
much.
scene.
And I thought about it more, and I realized other things about it. That's one thing I really like about Nosty's works. You think a lot about them even after reading. There's a lot to chew on.
Or at least we do.
There's just so much to chew on. Like, oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, it's fucking insane, is what it is. Like, I so good. It's good, is what it is. Good fucking characters. Hey, Parse.
Oh.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I also saw there was a comment about streaming it and like guidelines. That's
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Are they bad?
I went on ahead and looked at it myself. Fun fact. Apparently, they don't want you to stream anything past the first route.
What? That's
Yep.
ugh.
Or like
Ugh.
wait, second route? I guess I don't actually know which route blanks. Oh, second half of the game. Okay.
That's big. Guess we're really
Yep.
going with original Suki, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's less of a thing in America. Like, it'll be annoying for us, but I think I know that people's Persona 5 playthroughs were able to happen like just a couple of months after the fact, right?
Oh wait,
You
Persona
know?
did that?
Oh
What?
yeah, Persona 5 did that all right. They like
But they.
pioneered that fucking shit.
Oh, okay. So it's they don't really enforce it then.
Okay. Oh shit, so it's a request?
I mean, they might enforce it, but
Oh my
like.
god, it's Type Moon. It's totally just a request.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
never mind.
okay.
Holy shit, that makes me so not want to like stream any of that until like what's the second one? Red Garden is out.
Wait,
That
what's
makes
Red
me want to
Garden?
that makes me want to actually like do that.
Wait, what's Red Garden? What's Red Garden?
It's the back half. The dark side of the moon.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah. And we should go with the OG stuff anyway because we want to get I mean, it's
All
for us
rights.
that's just the most important version of the writing is just the original stuff. All the stuff connected to OG Fate.
I'm very interested to see where like things started too. Like that's Takeuchi's first VM in terms of art, right?
I don't know if it's Takeuchi's first VN, but I know that it was Takeuchi's last VN in terms of doing everything with the art.
I want to see what that's like because that's the hell I'm entering into. I have to see it. I have to see
Yeah,
what it
that's
looks like.
You really shouldn't. You should accept more help.
I It will one day. I already made compromises about the music, okay? It's the first commercial work they made.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that because like Nasu was like, everyone said that Tsukihime was an amazing success, but like I bet they were just trying to be really nice to me.
Wait, that's what Nasu said?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes way too much sense. Yeah, I like...
Wait, they weren't called Type Moon? I
Wait,
mean,
they
that makes
weren't?
sense. I
What?
thought Type Moon was like an OG name,
Wait, does
but
that mean...
yeah.
Oh, because Type Moon definitely shows up in Tsukihime. Totally.
Far Side, not Dark Side of the Moon. Far Side is what I'm trying to think of.
I wonder if the protagonist of Tsukihime is Hanazawa. Definitely.
Wait, holy shit, it's only those routes? Holy shit!
And then Boom Boom? Wait, which routes?
I'm not telling you that!
Why would I know that?
Oh, okay.
Like-
All of those routes for Far Side routes? Okay, I did not know that.
Wait, what?
I thought there were more Near Side routes.
Why am I asking?
Never mind.
Tell
You don't worry about any of this. Everything's fine. It's
I'm
all fine.
Scared.
We're all good.
Something's
Everything's
gonna happen
good.
with the moon. It's definitely going to explode for real
What?
in Suki.
The moon?
Totally. The moon's fucked
I mean,
up.
it's not like... You know what? I was gonna vaguely reference something, but like, nah. You'll learn
The
on your own.
garden is
You'll see
red.
on your own. When the garden is red...
Why does it still make a part of me laugh? No.
Is it the same part of you that laughs at Triple She?
Stop it.
Oh, it is. It is. Not that I know that already.
Oh my god. Oh. God, I was like nervous about it at first and obviously still nervous a little bit about certain parts, but I'm excited for Suki as well.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of Mihoyo's where like Nafsi's writing began, right? And then Suki is like the first work that was finished, right?
Suki was the first commercial work. It's not the first that was finished. 'Cause that was Angel Notes, right?
Yeah, Angel Notes was the first. Angel Notes was so fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. I do have to ask. Our fan translation? Were you, like...
What?
Literally... Were you a part of the translation team, Parse?
Oh, that would be really interesting. That would be so cool.
Oh, and it's better. That's good.
Wait, better than the Mihoyo one? That's really good.
I mean, the original Steam version, at least, is not that surprising.
Like, I'm really a fan of this translation too, though. Like, the way it just keeps the original soul. Like, through watching Wakraya's Stay Night Let's Play, I've seen the new translation for Fate, the new fan one, and I'm not really a fan of it. They got rid of Drawn in Your Ideals and Die! They killed it.
They did.
They killed it. It was
Crowley
such a good
massacred
line.
my boy.
There are some other ones that got me off guard. Apparently, Shiro swearing a lot, which he does in the new fan translation, is like correct. It still catches me off guard though.
I mean, I know, like, it got brought, like, Wise brought it up that it's like, they
removes the
stated
punch.
that he has,
Oh yeah. I'm
That he
I'm
has a
ex-
very vulgar way of speech.
I'm excited about the official translation. Yeah, because if it's like this one, and if it's better than this one, even like, I'm really excited to read it. Also, having 3 translations is really cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Honestly, yeah. The more translations, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Just like, if you don't know Japanese, that just gives you hell. Even if you know Japanese, but like only like you're not exactly fully fluent in it, that still gives you like a way more
Hmm.
of a perspective on like how you could interpret words potentially. So
How
like,
how far did the Mihoyo fan translation make it? Because didn't it get announced like right before they finished?
I thought it was like almost done, and then it just all of a sudden like, or yeah. That's what I remember it being too. Is like it was almost done, and then it's just like, by the way, official translation coming out now, and it's like, oh wow, that's
And then
very sad for them.
and then the new State Aid translation, same thing. Oh wait, do I have noise suppression on? Nope, I don't. Good. I briefly turned it on to see if it would help with the music, and it was somehow catching the vocals from the song anyway. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, it was finished? It was finished?
I mean, frankly, I do want to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no,
I wanna see the differences in
it's a different
translation because I
lens,
want to
right?
see, yeah.
Like, for example, we'll get Yamashiro instead of Yamasiro.
Oh,
That's just the way they localize names, right? Or whatever. I don't think localize is the right
that's
word.
that's the way that that Japanese people anglicize names.
God, it's so interesting. Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
okay. I
you
just had a
okay?
cough.
You
I just had
okay?
a cough. 12,000 downloads. That's a
Yeah,
lot. That's a
that is
lot.
cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even necessarily feeling down. I'm just like, I'm not even joking, right? Like, I have like a billion things in life that I want to do that I won't ever get around to. And one of them would be reading through it in both fucking things. Because again, like,
It's valuable.
yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. Yeah.
Melty Blood. We have to do Melty Blood at some point.
Well, yeah.
You gifted me
After
Melty
Kugetsu
Blood
Toya.
when we first met, I think. And then we were like, no, don't play
Yep.
that! Don't play that!
And then you have thankfully lost all your memories of it. Almost mysteriously, but not really.
Yeah, I like. That's the thing. If I'm not really
It's
thinking
been
about.
years.
If I'm not really thinking about a thing, I just won't absorb any of it. I have to actually think to
Whereas
remember
now
it.
you'd be like, wait a second. Is that Shiki from the Tight Moon series?
I don't know why I was so wrong about Shiki. Garden.
Well, she is in
Wait.
she is a bonus fighter in Melty Blood.
Wait a second. How old would Shiki be? Is there still a chance? How old would Shiki be in Mihoyo? Is there still a chance? Is there still a chance?
Oh, in Mihoyo? I don't think she's born yet.
Damn it!
Oh yeah, Melty Blood.
No
Yeah,
Shiki!
yeah,
We don't
yeah,
have a
no,
Shiki
yeah.
here! No Shiki's here. It's dead. It's dead. The theory's dead.
We even had multiple Shikis for you to work with, but I mean, if they're all in the same body, then obviously that's going to be a little more difficult.
God, Garden of Sinners is also so good. Once Mihoyo's done, I'm gonna rewatch the movies for sure. I think my brain is
Why
in a
can't
better
I
place
remember
too for analyzing
absorbing
them.
things?
Yeah. Also, I get less scared about actually sharing things now, so just a little less scared.
Brain isn't processing it.
Oh, wait. So it's like unlimited codes?
Karano Kyokai! That's what I was trying to remember!
Yes, Karno Kyokai
Holy
is
shit,
good.
okay, yes. Garden of Sinners, Karano Kyokai, okay. I can die happy now.
The original. Yes. God, Fate Unlimited Codes is really fun, by the way. It was like the good fan service, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should. Alright, are things gonna work correctly? Please work. Hey, it works!
Hey.
Ow, ow, ow. I keep getting
You
splashed.
okay?
I got splashed by Grail mud. Looks a lot less terrible than it should. Wait, what if I just change? Ah! Oh yeah, I need to fix that.
Yep. That was
Wait,
a
what if
cute
I-
noise.
I love you. Wait, what if I made an
I love
actual
you.
Grail mud here? What if I made an actual Grail mud? How would I do that? I know how to do that. Where is it? Where's the Grail? It's right here.
Where's the Grail? It's right here.
And then if I just...
Sorry, I just
Color
love that
correction?
sentence.
Where's the Grail? It's right here. I just turn the brightness all the way down there. It's Grail mud now. That doesn't look very good. I'm gonna turn it back. Alright. Archive. We don't have any archive!
Well, yeah.
How do we progress?
We
Does it just
progress
continue?
by loading. Yeah.
Are you for real? Are you for real? Are you?
Are you?
I'm for real.
Are you then?
Next episode.
Sorry. Wait, Miss Jackson?
What?
Johnson? Jackson?
Number 8? Are you for real?
Jackson. Sorry, Miss
What?
Jackson.
What?
Real.
What?
Like, good dog.
I'm so confused.
It's a song.
I've never listened to a song in my life.
Unbelievable.
You know, that actually used to be true, by the way. I remember that I was like...
I mean...
I just straight up didn't listen to music at all for like most of my life.
Yeah.
It was only in the past
only listened to like
4 years. Not even that. I didn't listen to anything, apparently.
anything at all. Like, not even like... Honestly, like, I could see like old you back then, like listening to like the Silent Hill soundtrack or something, like when we first met.
That
Just
checks out.
feeling that dead inside, just trying to find like anything.
That checks out. But yeah, I remember we like in school there were like assignments to do like write stuff about like a song or something, and we struggled with it immensely because we didn't have anything.
Well, now you do.
That was
Hey,
very
you're a good
personal.
and for nothing
Anyway.
weeb. You're a
We're
weeby
all
little
weebs
girl.
here. I love you.
I love you.
Hold on.
Weeby little girl. Oh yeah, free stun locks for all. But yeah, we should
Misaki High School's winter vacation began in mid-December. It's happening on Christmas. I don't know what, just something's happening. The tranquil air of the school was a refreshing change of pace from the more competitive schools and their nationally famous sports teams and exam-oriented curriculum. I hate exams.
The witch is happening on the holy night.
It's happening. The empty, newly constructed building evoked images of a pure white swan descending upon a still winter lake. The birds. The modern school building felt alive in its stillness, in spite of the absence of its lifeblood of students. Most students never knew what this building used to look like. It was just a small, run-down wooden building, a shadow of its former self. The former school was never torn down, and it now stood in lonely silence. It was tucked away deep in a seemingly infinite wood that stretched across the mountains. What? The sound of brooms sweeping dead leaves resonated in the air. The ocean of leaves had accumulated into piles as big as sand dunes. Sweeping was a futile venture at this point. An ominous feeling lingered in the air, perhaps the result of 2 years of abandonment. Cleaning the inside of the building alone would take more than a few days to finish. Not to mention...
本当だり、存在価値が見出せねえ。
This
There he is!
sucks. We're students, damn it, not machines.
ばっかじゃねえの。冬休みは短いってのになんでこんなことやらせんだよ、生徒会は。
Barely get any winter break, and then the student council has us out here doing this crap.
Oh god, the outfits! Oh, I need to... Oh, his looking face! The misguided youth sent here for the job wasted no time making it clear he wanted no part in the beautification efforts.
っていうか、ジャージでやらせんなよ。ジャンパーぐらい着させろ。
Wait, isn't he wearing a jacket right now?
And please let us wear a jacket or something. It's freezing out here.
I get that feeling. For the, what I do to make sure that my room stays cool is I just get it as cold as possible before the stream. Because I can't have the AC unit running for audio quality. So it's freezing in here right now.
何これもしかして体育の報酬寒中マラソン俺体育だけはサボった
It'll
こと
warm
ねえ
up
ですけど
though.
ね
It'll warm up way too much for the end of the stream.
Is this part of gym class or something? Winter marathon training? I'm saying this is someone who never skips gym class.
Hosuke Kinomi? Kinomi? Did we get it?
Yep.
At this point, I have no excuse to not get it. Hosuke Kinomi continued to mumble and grumble to himself as he reluctantly swept away at the ground. There's Sono-G! Meanwhile, Sojiro silently and swiftly continued his sweeping, glaring at Kinomi out the corner of his eye. Also, I forgot the bird calls him Sono-G!
I'm Sono-G, fuck you.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's like getting what's it called? That's giving oh, brain, please work.
Sono-G.
Scottish. Are you seriously trying to clean up all this for real? There's only like 40 of us out here. There's no way we are going to get all this cleaned up. So who cares?
Anything can be completed with diligence, Kinomi. Stop complaining so hard. Kinomi went back to idly swinging his broom without even glancing over at Sojiro. Mornings in the mountain were cold. There was no hint of sun in the cloudy sky above. Ash-gray light illuminated the rear courtyard. The sharp cold of midwinter pierced through everyone's gloves as if they did not exist. A day like this was best spent indoors under warm blankets, but for some reason they were out here cleaning. The special winter cleaning team. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh no. That was the name given to this elite force sent to clean up this dilapidated, overgrown mountain.
Mountain.
It's called... It's not a mountain. The other students had put their faith into this team to fulfill this beautification mission, respecting them for their sacrifice. In reality, however, was that this is nothing more than a ragtag, dear losing gang of students needing remedial lessons before their exams. They were the victims of a year-long arm-twisting scheme by the student council. Oh, Who in their right mind would come out here to sweep up leaves of the blizzard looming on the horizon? Other than one of the 40 assembled, none of them had any semblance of interest in doing the task at hand. Sweet potatoes.
Hey, Shizuki. Look over there. Hey, Shizuki. Look over there.
What is that voice?
Akabane and those guys are over there roasting sweet potatoes. What is this? The 50s or something?
No, it's the 80s. Also, I'm just remembering... Huh?
Yeah,
was that
that's yes.
Okay. I was right. Remember Potatoes Sorrow? Best scene in HA?
Unironically, yeah.
It was actually great. It was literally... It sounds so funny, but it's...
Oh, wait, what? That was him? Jesus, the fucking range.
He should be a voice actor.
Hey, Shizuki, over there. Akabane and those guys are over there roasting sweet potatoes. What is this, the 50s or something? Looks like they don't even know how to roast them properly. Oh, I know.
Wait, squid?
Grill some squid.
Where are you gonna get squid? Kinomi did not want to be here to begin with, and was constantly trying to break Sojiro into joining him. The cleaning squad was divided into groups. Sojiro and Kinomi were in charge of cleaning behind the gymnasium. Sojiro was the leader of the platoon. Kinomi was the grunt. The only one who wants to be here. Look, when you finish cleaning up around this fence, you can go off and eat your sweet potato or squid or whatever it is you want, because it'll be lunchtime. Sojiro said, as he expertly packed his swept leaves into trash bags. 2 hours had passed since they assembled on this foggy morning at 7 o'clock. While everyone else chatted and laughed as they worked, Sojiro alone had worked in complete silence at the same blistering pace he started.
God, man.
Sono-G. The sheer amount of work he put in was likely the only thing. No, you screwed up my line read. Not that it was that good
I'm
to begin
sorry.
with.
It was actually. It was fine. You're good at things, okay?
I
love you.
The sheer amount of work he put in was likely the only thing keeping him from complaining of the cold in his thin jersey. Oh.
なあ、やめようぜ。見ろ、そこの池、スケートリンク。やっぱ池？
Fine. Let's take a break. Look at that pond. Or should I say ice skating rink? No, on second thought, it's just a pond.
I think I used to do ice skating.
とにかくそこの池
Yeah,
らしきものだって
don't
カチカ
probe
チに
those
凍ってる
memories
ぐ
too
らいな
hard.
んだぜ。
I think I know what happened. And you can probably make an assumption and move on.
Okay.
That's how cold it is out here. But it's frozen solid, dude. That's how cold it is out here.
こんな雪原じゃ
You're
人
such
体
a
が
good
普通
voice
動か
acting.
ねえ
You
よ
know that?
機械伯爵でもなきゃだよ
The way you're able to
そろ
put the
そろ
shiver
人
into your
体が
voice.
始まる
It's
よ
so good.
A normal human can't work in these snowy conditions unless there's some kind of robot. We're going to have to start eating each other to survive if this keeps up.
Oh god. Hunger.
なんでいい加減休憩しね
Why won't you just take a break for a minute?
せっかく枯葉集めたんだから燃やして温まんないとさどうせ監視役は殿下しかいないんだし
Squid.
なあ焼きイカやろうぜ焼きイカ
I've never had squid in my life.
We got all these leaves together. Why don't we burn them and get warmed up? Nobody's really watching. Let's grill some squid. Please.
Have you ever had squid?
I have. I was not a fan. The
You have-
suckers. Like, okay, so most of it has the consistency of fish, but imagine that there's just these suckers all over it that are really chewy for some reason.
Oh god.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about eating squid after I can.
Also, if you're watching, Rin, thank you for giving me some of them. I'm sorry, I find it to be one of the most disgusting things I've ever tried to eat.
Yeah, no.
I am not a
I'm
fan of
nev-
squid.
I'm never going to have it, and you've only strengthened my resolve.
Maybe
Yeah,
if the suckers were removed and like it was properly like chopped up and shredded or some shit.
I didn't know that they put the suckers on there or left them on there. Oh.
Yep.
Also, obviously, all food tastes are. What's the word?
Yeah,
Subjective?
everything's subjective.
Yeah.
If you like
We're
it,
just not a
whatever.
fan.
We don't hate you, obviously.
For some reason.
We
you
just-
know me.
Loathe it.
Huh?
I said we just loathe it.
Yep. For some reason, Kinomi was droning on about his squid. Sojiro had managed to withstand the barrage of complaints from his comrade, but even he was reaching his limit.
木の実頼むから
Kinomi, please. Oh, there he is! Sono-G.
And there he is. It's my boy.
Just
Off
then.
to go ask how things went with alcohol, most likely.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! I don't think he would ever believe what he told him happened. Just then, Sojiro saw the Grim Reaper himself creeping behind Kinomi. It's like, So she tried to kill me, and then someone tried to kill us, and then I got put in a bottle.
Don't mind her, she just remembered that scene.
And then I got
Was it a
forcibly
crazy
moved in.
scene?
And then it was a crazy scene.
Is it a crazy scene?
It was a crazy scene. Squid is too chewy. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Don't mind her, she's lost all ability to read anything for the next minute.
No, I'm fine. In the hands. In his hands, he
I
holds
love
a
you.
rake instead of a soft bamboo broom.
いいぜ。お前がイカなんてもんを用意してるほどの大人物だってんなら、 慎んでイカ焼きぐらい許可してやるよ。なんなら醤油はこっちで用意してやろう。
The big man in his squid.
Sounds good to me. I'll let a bit of grilled squid slide. Far be it from me to get between the big man and his squid. I tell you what, I'll even get you the soy sauce.
Kinomi shot to attention at the voice behind him. Also, I just realized that this is day night. There would be a Sono-G counter, wouldn't there?
If it was us back then, yes, probably.
But no, we're not doing that. Even though it would be less cluttered to do it now than it would back then.
Yup. Ah, Tsukichi! Is that you?
Before quickly turning around, swinging his broom in the process. Tobimaru easily blocked the swing with his rake.
It's a war.
てめえ、やる気十分じゃないか。溢れる労働意欲を抑えきれないってわけか。なんならシベリアコースにでも行っちまうか。
That face.
Oh, so now you want to use that broom, huh? Just can't contain all that hard-working spirit, I see. Maybe I should assign you to the special Siberian trail, then.
I love that voice for him so much.
女ども集めて焼却炉に陣取ってる野郎の
Oh, my face is turning when smiling again.
真冬に南国気
We're
分と
there
かマ
already.
ジ寒いわ。
Huh. All you've done is stand over by the furnace with the girls, pretending like you're on a Caribbean holiday, instead of out here in the freezing cold.
He has the best faces. He just has the best faces. Wait, but Alka also has the best faces. Those two have
Oh,
the
who
best
does?
faces. Alka.
Who does?
Alka. Both boys
Who?
glared at each other with a wry smile. Broom and rake locked in an embrace. These two are only friendly with each other on school grounds.
飛び丸、一応彼は戦力なんだから邪魔しないでくれ。
Tobimaru, please don't distract him any more than he already is. Both of them scoffed angrily and put away their weapons. They both knew better than to argue with Sojiro, the only one cleaning with a garbage bag in hand. He's the only one.
He's the one who
Sorry.
takes this
何し
seriously.
に来たんだ、飛び丸。
He's the one who sees value. Something we can help you with, Tobimaru?
君はあったかい焼却炉の前で永遠に火の管理をすると豪語していた
Oh
ん
wait,
じゃ
no,
な
that
かったっ
was...
け。
Sono-G. I thought you were too busy
Yeah, that's
pretending...
Sono-G, right?
I thought you were too
Yeah.
busy pretending to tend to the fire over... I thought you were too busy pretending to tend to the fire at the furnace. A harsh comment. It threw me off because he said that. Apparently,
Yeah,
even
but
Sojiro had a slight
it's-
taste for drama.
That's 'cause he's had to put up with Kinomi constantly just
Squid! squid! Squid!
being the
Give
worst
me my squid! Give me my
for,
squid!
like, so fucking long.
I want my squid!
And then, like, fucking Tobimaru walks over pretending he's actually been working.
But he's not. Sojiro's the only one. Oh, he didn't see it. I thought he was gonna say it. Why, mate?
So it's come to this. Even the upstanding students like you are looking down on me now.
Sono-G.
Hey, Soil.
Hi! Welcome. Tobimaru seems
Welcome,
sad
welcome.
at Sojiro's observation. But as long as Tobimaru continued to claim he was helping the girls clean by doing nothing more than standing in front of a pile of burning leaves, Sojiro found it hard to sympathize. Sono-G.
Sono-G.
Sono-Tree.
Just tell us what you want. We're actually busy doing work over here. Unlike some people.
Now that I'm actually starting to seriously consider the Sono-Tree theory just a little bit, he's gonna end up being a werebear. I know. It's always the first one.
Oh, is that so? Well, lucky for you, it's almost break time. Let's get warmed up over there.
We know it's the second one. It's the deer. It's the deer. Obviously.
Oh, break time? Now you're talking.
Huh?
But you didn't do so just Sono-G.
Not for you, idiot. Only people who have actually done some work today can take a break.
Only you, Sono-G.
焼却炉の前に来たけりゃそれ相応の貢ぎ物を持ってきやがれ。具体的に言うとリアカー1台分のゴミ袋な。
Yeah, we're on the old
Oh,
school.
we barely had anything last week because we're back to the, canceling one a week, but at least we have 2 a week, so we do 1 a week.
Yeah, hopefully
I'm so sorry
we'll
to
get
everyone.
things.
We're trying to get our lives in order.
Yep. God, yeah, last week was really good though. Like, it was shortish, but it was really dense in a good way.
Yeah. If you want to come stand by the furnace, then bring me enough leaves to fill a cart. Until then, keep sweeping.
ひっで生徒会応募
Ah! I have rights, you know! This is an abuse of power! Yep.
Oh, last week? No, it wasn't. It was
No, that was
Martha.
the week before, you're right.
Yep, Alice in the Forest the week before. That was
Last
also
week was,
really good.
the reveal of the Cockney bird.
Who also says Sono-G. God, Alice in the Forest is also so good. Just talk to him. Kinomi's complaints naturally fell on deaf ears. Tobimaru had been selected to lead the cleaning operation, and his word was final.
Kumari, that was her name.
Yep, Kumari, that's it. She's interesting.
Yeah.
Kinomi were to continue to push his buttons. He knew he would be on cleaning duty tomorrow, and the next day too.
さあ行く
He'll
ぞ
never get his squid.
誰の
He'll
進化
never
知らねえ
get
が
his squid.
なぜか汁粉の缶が山ほどあってな中華まんの一つでもあった方が気が利くってもんなんだがねあれか遭難用のチョコレートみたいなもんか
Alright, here we go, people. Don't ask me why, but we had a bunch of cans of sweet red bean soup. Some meat buns would have been better, but that would have required a certain someone to use their brain. We've also got some emergency chocolate.
What's a meat bun?
It's a bun with meat in it.
Oh, that's way less interesting than what my brain thought up.
A bun made of meat?
Yes, that's what I
Special
thought.
extra?
Special extra?
We don't know.
What is that?
Love to check on that later.
I wonder if it's like the tiger judges?
たくあいつの考えは未だ
Like
に
the
わかん
little
ねえな
extra shorts?
God damn it. What the hell was she thinking?
Oh look! His eyes! His eyes moved! You blink and you miss something! You literally blink and you miss something! It's insane. Sojiro reassured Tobimaru by saying that he thought the food would do just fine for everyone.
なんだよ行かねえのか宗次郎
Huh?
Hmm?
Wait, you're not coming. He called him Sojiro.
自分はここに
He
残り
did! What happened to him? Okay, he's been replaced. He's been replaced! He's been replaced!
He's been replaced by a Toko puppet!
Yes! That's what I was gonna say! There's an imposter!
Ah, he's sus?
He's sussy! He's sussy!
I've activated the Among Us sleeper agent inside of her brain.
Sussy.
Oh, if it was
Oh.
archived, then that was the
Was that
extinction
Martha?
scene with
Very
Kumari.
special. Yeah, that was really fucking good. I just love Sojiro's bafflement at the end. Just like, why did you try and stop them from going extinct? If you work so hard to make them go extinct?
It's like, that's not how any of that works. Are you okay, Sojiro?
Sono-G. It's a really good scene. Oh! Yeah, we'll definitely have to check next time, probably after we finish this scene. I wonder if Hanazawa is gonna show up again. It's been a while.
You just want that to be the case.
I haven't seen her in so long. Wait, hold on. She was in episode 3. Oh my god, we haven't seen her
She
in a
was
long
in an extra.
time.
She was only in an extra as well.
She lied about her name and ran away saying there was something she needed to do. She's showing up again. She has to. That was way too saucy. No. I'm gonna just stay here. We can just burn some leaves to stay warm, like Kinomi said. We've got a pond right there, so we can easily put it out when we're done. This was clearly for Kinomi's benefit. Tobimaru furrowed his brow, while Kinomi shivered from the colds. He's shivering.
Oh!
俺は今友情ってもんを実感しているすげえな真心って本当にあったん
A
だ
friend of Sono-G.
Is that a glimmer of friendship I just saw? You know what? You're as pure as the snow is white!
待ってろしずき今赤羽たちから芋を奪ってくる
This is nuts. Let's just wait here, Shizuki. I'm going to grab some potatoes from Akabane.
Perhaps shy to show his true feelings, Kinomi ran off to the neighboring group.
な予想はしてたけどなほらよ
I figured you'd say that. Here.
If he actually stops saying Sono-G here, I'm actually gonna be sus. I'm actually... Tobimaru pulled out a hot can from his jersey pocket, scratching his head in exacerbation. How is it still hot?
He probably heated it up and then kept it hot by like keeping it in his pocket. He probably heated it up right before he came over.
Oh, I thought they were out here for hours.
He's been tending to
he was by the
fire.
fire. He was by the fire.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Meryl. Hi.
Hey, Meryl. Welcome.
You
We're
pulled-
actually streaming today instead of yesterday, where we fell asleep because the fucking loud music going on so fucking long.
Yep, we were safe from it in the basement. I turned on noise suppression as a last ditch effort, and the lyrics were getting picked up still. I'm pretty sure it was like a party of like 70-year-olds.
Yep.
Based on the music
See, they have
choices.
to turn it up that loud in order to hear it.
Oh my god. It was nuts. We were like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. And then we looked at quiet hours and it wasn't until 10. And that was exactly when they shut off the song. Anyway, he pulled out 3 in all. 1 from each jersey pocket and 1 from his pants pocket. Maybe this is revenge for me getting super loud during certain streams.
さっさと焚き火の用意をしようぜ。俺もこっちで休むことにするわ。
Let's get a fire going. I'm gonna chill over here too.
付き合いがいいのはお互い様だな。
I guess we both know how to deal with people, huh? Sojiro quickly prepared the leaves for the fire.
You gotta put more of a smile in your voice when you say that.
I guess we both know how to deal with people, huh? Carefully gathering them up for them to burn neatly. I'm having to force myself to not smile because my face is hurting from smiling.
You're pretty good at that.
マッチがあるから楽なんだ。
Oh yeah, guess who hasn't had a single menu today?
Why would you say that?
I'm pointing at the stands. We're doing this. Not a single one today. We've never had a stream where we haven't gotten a menu. This will be the first one. Also, is that Sono-G?
Yes.
It's easy when you have matches. Oh yeah, was he not... Did he used to have to start fires, like, by spinning the sticks or whatever?
Probably.
That's insane. Yeah, it must be utterly mind-blowing to just, like, strike a stick and have fire. It's still magic. It's magic. Sojiro crouched down in front of the burning leaves and warmed his hands near the flames. Even though he showed no signs of being cold, underneath it all, Sojiro was cold too. He gazed into the fire.
He's only human.
He's only human.
Or is he?
Well, no, he's a werewolf. We're a deer! We're a deer! We're a deer! He gazed into the fire as the smoke rose in the pile of leaves, as if remembering the good times from his past. Tobimaru felt a touch of concern as he looked at Sojiro. He saw within him homesickness and retrospection. He also saw a dark shadow looming over him, like a stranger in a foreign land without a home.
元気ねえな、宗次郎。
We've had so many good talks about what it's like to
You
move
don't look so good, Sojiro.
from like a different type of area
Yeah.
because of this. I really like that.
まあね。
Yeah, completely transformed your view on ambulances.
Yup, every time I hear one go by, I just have that angle on it now. Cause again, I always heard that I grew up in the suburbs, so like more dense suburbs, so I heard them all the time, but I never really thought about it. I suppose I am a little tired.
悩み事なら相談に乗るぜ。気が向いたら話してくれ。
If you need to talk, I'm here for you. Just let me know.
Tobimaru continued speaking with the pull tab from the can of sweet red beet soup still around his index finger. Sojiro was focused on the fire.
そういえばな、お前が学校休んでる時、青崎に殴られたぜ。なんだ俺は大
Okay, what did you say? What did you say? What did you say?
What do you mean?
What?
It was over the, like... What makes you think that?
Oh, wait. So did you tell
Yeah.
me? Okay. I thought it was Tobimaru.
Well, it's because Tobimaru was the one that led him to think that, or led her to think that about him.
Like, specifically Mary. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were taking a break from school. Azuki slugged me. She said I've got a big mouth.
Yep. I remember now. I remember.
すごいな。大抜擢じゃないか。
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. That face is so good. Sojiro would reply incoherently like this, sometimes. Tobimaru chalked it up to cultural differences.
なあ、青崎とはどうなってんだ？テスト前は駅まで一緒に帰ってただろ？うまくいってんのか？あれから。
Oh god, I need to finish the other Mihoyo picture I was doing.
Hey, how are things going with Azuki anyway? You used to walk with her to the train station before exams. Things been going well since then?
It was obvious to everyone that was far from the case. Yet Tobimaru asked anyway.
ああ、今は一緒に住んでるよ。
Oh, that's gonna generate a response. That's gonna generate a response. He just says it. Yeah, we live together now. So casually. Sojiro went with a truthful, blunt response.
ああ、そうか。一緒と来たか。
he just has
That
like
is
a
not
pre-generated, like he was ready for them dating, but like he hasn't even absorbed yet what actually
That is
just
not
got said.
a normal amount of time to move in with someone.
Wow,
It took us, like,
I
what, 2
see,
years?
I see. That was quick. Dating already, huh? To be fair, we were planning to move in together before we were dating.
That's true. That is true. Uh-oh.
Good thing you have a secondary controller.
I do. I never charge anything I own. Or in this case of the Switch controller, anything you own. I love you.
Yep.
Tell
Oh,
me
that
about
was
it.
freebie, huh? Free sunlock.
Tobimaru tried to laugh off Sojiro's all too casual confession. However,
一緒に住んでる。
there it is! There's that tiger reaction.
Wait, you live together?
That was always a thing in every route, wasn't it?
Wait,
the tiger
you
reaction.
live together? That was a better read.
どうした飛び丸？火でも飛んだか？
It's just not a big deal to him. The details too. I got kidnapped in a.
Oh, you got caught on something there? You got caught in a thought there?
Are you okay? Are you okay, Tobimaru? Did a spark hit you?
飛んでねえし、それより怖え。おい、今
Are you okay, Tokimaru? Did a spark hit you? Wait, oh, from the fire.
No, worse. My friend just said the wildest thing I've ever heard.
Sojiro protested Tobimaru's reply with silence. I think I actually used to try to grab the little sparks that come out of campfires. Probably didn't go very well.
Were you like 5?
Back then. Very big. Oh, is that why I wrote that scene in that story that will never get published? Because it's not good.
You're not joking, are you? One day you're barely interested in girls, and the next you're shacked up with that one, or you're shacked up with one?
It wasn't by his choice. Tobimaru had always felt that he and Sojiro were an equal match strength-wise, but for some reason he could not shake the feeling that Sojiro was now superior in the brain department. Sojiro cast a very angry glare in Tobimaru's direction. That was awfully rude. What do you mean I'm not interested in girls? Sojiro seemed genuinely angry, and his voice was icy. This uncharacteristic level of anger from Sojiro was enough to get Tobimaru to back down. This catches him completely off guard.
Hey.
It's very fast.
I was out of line. I just assumed a few things. I apologize. But seriously, what do you mean you're living with her? This all seems way too fast for you.
It's
not what you think. Or it's not what you think. I'm just renting a room in her house. It's up in the attic, but it reminds me of a mountain cottage, so I kind of like it. I love that detail so much. That was a really good scene. Tobimaru did not bat an eyelid at hearing that Sojiro now lived in an attic and continued his questioning.
Well, that part's the normal.
Yeah, that part makes sense. That part makes sense.
I mean, we're talking about that mansion. We're talking about that mansion, right? The Kuonji mansion. Hey!
Don't hate me.
142.
Hey, why did I say anything? I'll make it one day, I promise, and it'll be in the finale.
This is out of this world. What kind of wizard are you to pull that off? It's like, oh no, I'm not the wizard. She. Aw, now you gotta die. I'm sorry.
Turns into werebear. Huh? You know the place, Tobimaru? Tsukiji throne? Oh yeah,
Come on,
Alice.
dude. You're talking to the heir of the Tsukiji throne here. Of course I know about the mansion where the first daughter of the Kuonji group lives.
Oblivion recording.
She's a sophomore at the Rayan Girls Academy, right?
Konji... What? Sojiro's looking more confused than ever, so
Are you
Tobimaru...
seriously telling me that you lived there without even knowing that?
Sojiro is looking more confused than ever, so Tobimaru reluctantly explained everything as simply as he could, so Sojiro could understand.
クオンジグループつうか財団だな
An outside
The
person.
Kwanji group. Well, they're more like a foundation, really.
平たく言えば一族全部がお金持ちで仲良く会社を経営してる連
Oh
中
yeah, I remember his reaction!
複合
You're
企業
rich!
とまではいかないが輸出業じゃかなりのもんだ
All you need to know is the whole family is loaded, and they own and manage various companies together. They're not quite a conglomerate, but they're a big deal in the exports industry.
ホームグラウンドは国外で先代の会長の英国 B 機がたたって一時期は沈みかけてたんだ
Your
が
old
5
chairman.
年くらい前かね本拠地をこっ
Are
ち
there
に
any
移してか
other
らは
Kwanjis that I
ご
know
存知の
about?
通りだ
They used to operate out of England because their old chairman loved the place. When things went south about 5 years ago, so they moved all their operations back here.
会長が息子に移ってからはきちんと持ち直して今や町の名士だろここでもクオンジの名前はそこかしこで目に入るこの学校の立て直し予算の半分は連中からだしな
Since
That's
their
just
son took
how it
over,
is.
things have rebounded for them. And that's why you see their name plastered around town. They contributed, like, half the funds required to rebuild our school.
I think, like, yeah, when he was in college, it was... half the buildings are just named after rich people.
Sounds about right.
Despite the oversimplified explanation, Sojiro still seemed to not be getting it. There's also, like, in the building itself, there was, like, this plaque explaining the whole life story of the rich person that paid for the building. At least one of them was like that anyway. It had, like, pictures and everything just explaining how great and generous they were. It's like,
So great, so generous.
With that, Tobimaru decided to give up on trying to explain. Despite this oversimplified explanation, Sojiro still seemed to not be getting it. And then,
ああ、あれだ。想像もできない金持ち
they're
ってこと。
rich!
They're filthy rich, okay?
ソノジ
Jesus.
が働いてる喫茶店だって、クオンジが向こうから
We
持
opened
って
the
きたブランドだ
floodgates!
ぜ。今じゃ全国チェーンになっちまったがな。
You know that coffee place you work at? The Kwanjis brought that franchise here.
Oh my god.
Now they're a national chain.
He doesn't understand that there's like 3 corporations.
I mean,
つまりすごく偉いんだね。
people who live their whole life under capitalism don't understand that shit.
It's true. It's true. I remember being baffled by that and just like... Pepsi is the same company that makes Lay's chips and like countless other things that you never would have thought were
Yep.
Pepsi linked.
Yep.
It's crazy. There's that one chart that's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
3
they're
companies
very rich.
own the world.
It's wild. Okay, so they're very rich and very important. Weird. If that's the case, then why is she so frugal all the time? Sojiro mumbled incoherently to himself. Tobimaru looked at him with a complex expression on his face, somewhere between envy and heartfelt sympathy.
しかし、うまいことやったな、宗十郎。
He's saying Sojiro now.
Whatever
It's
the
weirding
case.
me out.
You've done good for yourself, buddy.
それで本当のところはどうなんだ？男と女が
No!
同じ屋根
No!
の下にいれ
We're
ば
not doing that.
やることは一つだろ。
Not here.
Tell me the truth, though. When a guy and a girl are living under the same roof, only one thing can be happening. Am I right?
No! Not this time. We are not having... We're not having to delete the VOD again. Never.
Wait, what? What?
Remember?
No?
No HT.
Oh!
Remember that? Remember? When
I
it
do
decided
remember
to show
that
it
now, you're
anyway.
right.
It decided to show that anyway. I decided to do that anyway. It was terrible. I still can't believe that. We got jump scared. That's a surprisingly old-fashioned thought for you to have, Tobimaru.
抜かせ。そのあたりをごまかしてたら男なんざやってらんねえ。
Oh, give me a break. What kind of guy is afraid to talk about this kind of stuff?
そりゃごもっとも。実を言うと、正直な話。
I suppose you're right. So the truth is, when Sojiro and Aoko were living together, there was absolutely no chemistry between them. Though that was not to say that living in such close quarters as they did, unintended mishaps did not occur from time to time. What kind of mishaps? But even still...
驚くぐらい、そういうことにはなってない。あの屋敷すごく広いし。
You'd be surprised how nothing like that goes on. The mansion is pretty huge, after all. Everyone was often busy with their own affairs, so there was no opportunity for that sort of thing to happen.
そもそもだな。
Yeah, you live in a big enough house, you basically never see your fucking roommates.
Yup.
Except sometimes in the kitchen.
Yep. It's kind of crazy. I mean, answer me this. Would you suddenly make advances on Aozaki just because you were living under the same roof?
いや、ならねえな、そりゃ。
Nope. Never.
Tobimaru nodded intently, as if he was thinking back over his many ex-relationships.
いや、健全だね。
Many, I see.
This all sounds very wholesome.
Also, it's weirding me out that he just suddenly stopped saying Sono-G.
健全だろ。
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great. Sojiro gave no more than a quick affirmation to Tobimaru's despondent murmur. He was doing fine. But besides his physical health, it was surely Sojiro's personality that enabled him to maintain any semblance of peace, dealing with both Aoko and Alice while living in the mansion. Oh yeah, I forgot, he's taking poison pills right now.
でも、
Yep.
それとは別の話で、青崎には頭が上がらないんだ。
On an unrelated note, I'm totally indebted to Aozaki.
彼女にはもう返せない借りがあってさ。
I'm not sure how I could ever repay her for what she's done for me. Sojiro's eyes turned slightly serious as he stared into the fire. Tobimaru felt that there was more to those words than what Sojiro was letting on.
もう返せない。
Oh, by the way, that's why the scene was called Are You For Real?
So, you owe her big time, huh?
Sojiro merely nodded in silence at Tobimaru's inquisitive acknowledgement. And just then... Oh no. Oh no, what? What? A strange scream pierced through the still silence of the wood like a knife. Oh no. What's happening?
Hmm. なんか聞こえたな。
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
木の実だ。
Kinomi dies. What? Yeah, and it was Kinomi. Sojiro had already stood up before he responded. He bolted to the frozen pond, broke the ice with his broom, scooped up some of the frigid water in a bucket, and threw it on the fire. All in less than 10 seconds. Did he light himself on fire? No, he didn't. Then he immediately ran off into the depths of the woods from where he heard the scream.
Oh, it's in the woods.
Oh no.
Cool.
Tobimaru followed after him.
Tsukinomi's dead.
In panicked confusion.
飛び丸、この先に何かあるのか?
Tobimaru, do you know what's down this way?
確か旧校舎が残ってるはずだ。
The remains of the old school building should be there.
他には野犬の住処とかそういう嫌な話は?
Anything else? Do you know, like a pack of wild dogs or bad stuff like that?
はあ? いや、いるとしても鹿かウサギじゃねえか?
Dear.
Huh? No, dude. If anything, it'd just be some deer or rabbits or something.
Is Kinomi actually dead?
なら怖がることもないか。急ごう、飛び丸。
There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's hurry. Perhaps because of his time spent growing up in the mountains, Sojiro quickly sprinted over the slippery dead leaves. Tobimaru was not particularly cautious himself, but nevertheless, he could not keep up with Sojiro in here. Before long, Sojiro found himself running alone. When foliage blocked the natural trail, he would sometimes clear it away by brute force, but just as often, he would expertly weave through the brush. It was clear that he was used to dealing with this level of nature. He seriously does seem to have, like, something. Maybe he's not a were-deer, but... After a few minutes, Sojiro arrived at a clearing. The wall of trees had ended. It was an obvious, man-made clearing here on the mountainside. In the distance was what looked like an old wooden school building. It was a small, aesthetically pleasing building, no larger than an elementary school, lost in the depths of the winter wilderness.
Kinomi!
Kinomi stood alone on the old school's grounds.
Huh?
He's alive! He's alive! I thought he was gonna be dead.
Hey! What are you doing here, Shizuki? What are you doing here, Shizuki?
A sour expression came over Sojiro's face as Kinomi tilted his head in confusion.
そっちこそどうしたんだ? 変な声上げて。
That's what I want to know. And what was that scream all about?
声? いや、そりゃガキ相手に怒鳴ったけどよ。
Wait, dumb kid? What dumb kid?
Huh? What scream? I was just pissed at this dumb kid.
So,
ほら、あのガキだよ。
Yeah, obvious Japanese
芋持っ
people.
てるだろ。
Sure.
で、中に逃げ込みやがった。
Chika, Kumari, Gold Deer, Bear Pair?
it was a deer and a bear, and then maybe he's the were-deer.
Oh, her name. Okay.
Oh. Kumari.
Look, there he is. I know he's got some potatoes
Kumari,
on him.
Kumari.
Damn it. Let him run off inside.
Oh dear, bear pair. Kinomi pointed resentfully toward the old school building. There was indeed somebody standing at the entrance to the building, just over 300 feet in the distance.
たく、こんな上まで来やがって。いつから子供の遊び場になってんだ、ここ。
What the hell is he doing up here anyway? Is this where kids hang out nowadays?
Kinomi shrugged his shoulders to signal how little he cared about what the young children did with their time. This place was deep in the woods, but it was not particularly dangerous. Sojiro had run through the woods to get here, but there was also a paved road leading to the spot from outside the woods, too. Kinomi apparently followed that road to get here. A child, though?
A child.
A child? Sojiro squinted.
ああ、金髪なんでさっきはちょっと驚いたけどな。外国人の子供って
なん
か可愛いだろ?
Yeah, blonde hair. Which kind of freaked me out at first. Foreign kids are scary, dude.
It's not.
Yeah, he was only in Zero, right?
It's definitely not. It's definitely not Gilgamesh. It would be really funny if it was, but it's definitely not.
Definitely not.
Stop making me think that it is. It was indeed quite rare to see a foreigner in a provincial town such as Misaki. Sojiro had never even seen a foreigner in person, which made the whole thing even more mysterious.
それで、木の実はなんでここまで?
Why did you feel the need to run all the way up here again?
いや、赤羽たちがよ、ガキに食料を奪われたって言うからここまで追いかけてきたんだ。
Akabane said that stupid kid stole their food, so I was chasing him down and ended up here.
そういうことだから、二人がかりであのお子様とっちめようぜ。
Since you're here, let's team up and see if we can catch him.
怖いことを考えるな、木の実は。
It's a little menacing, Kinomi. Sojiro could not find it in him to agree with this plan. It seemed unfair to team up against a little kid.
いいから帰ろう。あの子こっちを睨んでるじゃないか。
Come on, let's head back. That kid over there they're just staring at us.
それに飛び丸にこんなところ見られたら、冬休み中ずっと山の掃除で終わることになるぞ。
And besides, if Tobimaru sees us here slacking off, we're going to be cleaning this mountain for the whole of winter break. Sojiro took Kinomi by the shoulders and began leading him back to the path he came from. Kinomi cast one last gaze at the old school building before reluctantly following. Just then, Tobimaru appeared, panting and out of breath, so we don't even get a sprite for the kid. Interesting.
早いな、宗十郎。
Probably because it's minor character.
Are you so fast?
Tobimaru could hardly catch his breath. He arrived about 3 minutes behind Sojiro, despite having a good set of legs on him.
それでどうした? 木の実、無事か?
He's really fast.
So, what's going on? Are you alright, Kinomi?
は? 無事も何も殿下こそどうした?
Highness?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. What about you, Your Highness?
Konami seemed perplexed at Tobimaru's first ever display of concern for him.
なんだそりゃ。てめえ、あれだけの大声を上げておいて、しらばっくれる気か？上で何かあったんだろうが。
What the hell is that supposed to mean? You're out here in the middle of nowhere screaming bloody murder. And what am I supposed to think? We were worried.
すまない。こっちの早とちりだった。
That was my fault. I guess I jumped to conclusions.
飛び丸は知らないだろうけど、木の実は時々バイト先でも規制を上げる癖があるんだ。
Wait, really? You've probably never heard him do it, but sometimes at work, Kinomi has this habit of letting out a weird yell like that. Kinomi looked disapproving as Sojiro nonchalantly shared this insight. This is the first he had ever heard of it.
怪しいな。またよからぬことでも企んでるんじゃないか、そこの。
What could he be up to?
I'm not buying it. You're up to something, aren't you?
ないよ。戻って掃除の続きをするぞ、飛び丸。
Of course not. Come on, Tobimaru. There's cleaning to be done. Sojiro pat Tobimaru on the shoulder a couple of times and started walking. Oh, look at the sweat on his forehead. Tobimaru cast a doubtful glare in his direction as he meandered off. He had a feeling that Sojiro was covering for Kinomi somehow.
まさか、旧校舎に火なんてつけてないだろうな。
You didn't set the old school building on fire or something, did you?
Something's going
誰もしないよ、
on.
そんなことは。
Of course not. Who would even do that? He's just so baffled. Sojiro kept walking and did not even look back at Tobimaru as he spoke. Tobimaru and Kinomi tilted their heads in confusion as they reluctantly followed the unusually aggressive Sojiro back to their cleaning spot. And so, the special winter cleaning team's activities ended uneventfully. The time was just 3 in the afternoon. Upon departing, Kinomi and his crew invited Sojiro to come hang out with them, but he declined politely due to his job that evening. The lack of music is making me really uneasy.
That's probably intentional.
Uh-huh. Something going on. He had about 2 hours until his shift began. Not quite enough time to do anything fun, but just enough time to have to fill it with something.
Oh, that line. Oh, that hurts. That hits me right there.
Yep. That is specifically what
Too real.
YouTube Shorts filled, but then it started to encroach on other things, and encroach more and more until I spent entire days doing it. It's a problem. I just need to stop. Sojiro thought about relaxing in a park somewhere, but quickly changed his mind after remembering how cold it was, even in the city. Not to forget that Aoko handed him those pills in the morning. Aoko was absolutely correct in her prediction. Heading back to the mansion now would just be a waste of time. There was no reason for him to return to the mansion until after his shift at work. Still, Sojiro found himself on the way back anyway. Having grown up deep in the mountains, a little 2-hour walk was really no sweat off his back. 2-hour walk. Wow. Misaki was one of the more quiet residential areas in Misaki City. I love this shot, by the way.
Yeah.
The only thing that really stood out there was Shironizuka?
Shiro Inuzuka.
Shiro
White dog?
Inuzuka.
White dog spirit? I don't remember what Zuka means.
Shiro Inuzuka.
Not Inu, Inu.
Inuzuka. It's so interesting that you were able to break that down. There was a hill that led directly into the woods. The silhouette of the mountain served as backdrop to suburbia, silently overshadowing the small human actions of the people that lived there.
Also, I love you.
I love you. Even in the modern day of technological progress, the people here were always careful to pay reverence to the nature around them. If that mansion were a shrine, it would not be a haunted house, but a famous tourist attraction.
というより、今更気づいたけど。
Wait.
What did you just realize?
Wait. I just realized something. The houses around Shiro Inuzuka were all magnificent. Inuzuka. Sojiro understood as he looked on from the bottom of this hill where the rest of the town lived at the roof of the mansion, tucked away in the woods. He understood what Tobimaru was talking about, how the Kuwanji family, who owned that mansion, might be the richest people in town.
その割に家賃を取るところを見ると、やっぱり嫌われていると見るべきか。
They really do hate me. Why else would they ask for rent? I knew I was gonna do something like that.
He's attained enlightenment.
Alice, why have you landed? Sojiro began walking towards the mansion with such thoughts simmering in his mind. At least Elko and Alice will actually do repairs in the house.
Hey, our landlord did the absolute bare minimum that's probably actually below the bare minimum anyway.
That is what I was saying. The feeling of harsh asphalt beneath his feet instead of soft dirt felt lonely and isolating.
Aw.
He walked along the paved road for 10 minutes or so before reaching the iron fence of the wood. Beyond this fence was the private property of the Kuwanji family. It was bereft of any awkward no trespassing signs. The tall, overbearing iron fence was more than enough to remind visitors that they were unwelcome there. There's that fence again. I really like how Alice's boundary field is that fence.
Yeah.
Sojiro casually pushed on the iron gate. Only 2 days had passed since the end of final exams, and he already seemed more than comfortable with the idea of entering this wood alone. The path to the mansion from inside the wood curved and bent like a snake. It took about 15 minutes to reach the mansion on this path. He could have chosen to ignore the long incline and travel in a straight line through the wood. But he would have expended significantly more energy in doing so. No, using the wooded path was a sensible option, barring an emergency. Upon entering the foyer, Sojiro heard a conversation coming from the drawing room. It was no doubt Aoko and Alice. Sojiro decided to join them. Ever since final exams have ended, Aoko and Alice had switched from their daily routine to a more irregular schedule.
Yup.
Aoko would disappear into Alice's room in the west wing of the mansion for a while, where she would remain. And Alice would go into Aoko's room, not to be seen again. Or they would just vanish into corridors leading around to the rear of the mansion doing who knows what, where Sojiro was most certainly not allowed to enter. Not that he was interested in what they were doing, since Alco and Alice did not seem to want to include him either, serving both parties nicely. For the time being, the Kwanji estate was pretty peaceful.
Tadaima.
I'm home. Sojiro quietly opened the door to the drawing room. Even though they tried to not be involved in each other's business, Sojiro had just made it a habit to greet them. The two girls sat across from him on the sofa. God, these sprites are so good. On the table in front of them was a large, extravagantly decorated mirror. God, the lack of music is making me so on edge. Alco was dressed for comfort, wearing jeans instead of her usual skirt. In stark contrast, Alice was dressed up in her usual all black. Even though the break from school was well underway, the witch still insisted on wearing black. As Alco had explained, it was probably because it was too much effort for Alice to wear anything else. Sojiro thought
Oh, that's real as well.
Yep. Yep. Sojiro's thought was that he would like to see her wear something different. Alco and Alice seemed to be in the middle of some sort of dispute. The air in the drawing room was tense. They both ignored his greeting. Alice briefly looked up at him.
じゃあ、東川の視点は？あそこの柱は白色だし、そう簡単には奪われないでしょ。
Wait, pillar? What pillar?
What about the Tokawa point? That pillar is white, so hopefully it won't be so easy to remove.
The Tokawa point?
ええ。今のところ東川は侵食されていないけど、一つ隣の鈴穂の視点が消された以上、楽観はできないわ。残りの割り出しは今までより早くなる。
Yes. The Tokawa one is still active. Suzuho? Did I get it?
Suzuho? Yep. That's about right.
Suzuho's support next to it has gone.
Did you fucking...
It said Suzuho. It's a tongue twister, but only for me. Suzuho. But the Suzuho support next to it has...
Suzuho.
Fuck it. I don't... But the Suzuho support next to it has gone, so we can't really be too careful. With each sigil they discover, they get better at finding the others.
そっか。一個釣れれば、あとは芋づる式だもんね。
Oh, they're slowly taking apart the founded field.
That's really bad. That's really bad.
That makes sense. I guess once they found one, they can easily find the other connections.
反省したわ。甘く見てたのはこっちの方だった。ここからは1週間単位の攻防になるわね。
I really
messed up. I should have been more careful. This is going to turn into a weekly battle soon.
The two continued their heated discussions from opposite sides of the table. The puppets. Alco neglected to even glance up at Sojiro. Sojiro sensed
Sono-G.
that she wanted to concentrate on the discussion at hand. Yeah. God, that last puppet was so terrifying.
でも消せないな。
It's so strange, though.
あの夜に人形を出してくるタイミングといい、隠し方だけは一級品なうちの視点を短期間で特定することといい、こいつまず間違いなく市内にアジトを敷いてるわよね。
She's just here. Wait, Sojiro saw her.
Setting aside the timing of the puppet that night and how quickly they're able to find our expertly hidden sigil, whoever it is most definitely has to have some kind of hideout in the city.
Sono-G saw Toko. Oh my god, I just remembered that. He was the one who saw her.
に異常がないんだろう。三崎市一帯の索敵網はもう100年近く破られたことがないのに。
If that's the case, why aren't we detecting any abnormalities in the field? The dragnet around Misaki City hasn't been broken for nearly 100 years.
Alko bit her nails nervously, while Alice nodded along. It seems as though she was wondering the same thing.
母もここの結界には触れなかった。
Even my mother wasn't able to touch this bounded fields.
岬の結界をかいくぐるには、あなたのおじいさんか、それ以上の技量を持つ魔術師でないと難しい。
The only person capable of getting through Misaki's bounded field would have been your grandfather, or an even more capable mage.
けど、それほどの魔術師なら逆に、気配は隠しきれない。
But someone exuding that level of magical energy would find it that much harder to cover his or her tracks.
何か特殊な音響法かもしれないわね。ここ数年、新しいサークルの話は聞かないけど。
It could be some kind of unique concealment word, but I haven't heard anything about any new fairy circles forming in these past few years. Wait, there's fairies in
Fairy
the
brain
monster?
activated.
What? Yeah. Wait, there's fairies.
Yep, not the nice kinds, though.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
何？シャーウッドの森？メイキングなら以前アリスの霧が粉砕したじゃない。あれ以上の音響があるっていうの？
Where was it? Sherwood Forest? The May King was
The
able to
May
break through your
King?
mist, remember? Do you
That
think there's
does
some
sound
sort
like-
of concealment stronger than that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
例えばの話よ。今回の相手は、こちら以上の技量を持っているか、こちらの知らない技術を持っているか。
Yeah.
God, I need to rewatch this. I remember that.
Of course you remember the fairies.
That was Oblivion recording, correct? That was the name?
Movie 6, was that the one that got butchered?
All I'm saying is that if whoever we're dealing with has skills greater than our own, maybe there are some techniques we aren't aware of. It got butchered.
Not Udo butchered, but...
We just dealt with that. Rip Aldo Azir.
どちらにせよ、評価を改めるべきね。私たち、
We'll talk
気づ
about
か
it
ないうち
after.
に追い詰められているのかも。
Maybe someday.
Yeah,
Yeah, it got
I'd
linked.
love,
Could check
I'd
it out
love-
at some point.
I would love to read that eventually. To read all the novels, honestly. Either way, we need to reevaluate things. We might be under more pressure than we thought. The two fell silent. He's just there. He's just standing there watching. Sojiro, after some internal deliberation, decided to break the silence.
やあ、ただいま。
Like,
He's just
because you
standing
didn't
there
hear
the
me
whole
earlier.
So, I'm home. The look on his face is so good.
You gotta say it even happier.
So, I'm home. Alko finally looked up at him in response to his hesitant declaration.
いいからお風呂に入ってきたら。汚れてるわよ、掃除
That's fine, Sojiro. Will you please take a bath? You're dirty.
Just that she's still facing Alice. She only glanced
Just like looks to the side. You smell like shit. Go take a bath.
And with that, Alko returned her gaze to the mirror. Alice briefly looked up at Sojiro again before also returning her gaze to the mirror. I know he walked away, but just seeing him like slowly fade out was perfect.
My final message.
Goodbye. Perhaps feeling at least somewhat satisfied that his greeting was acknowledged, Sojiro left the drawing room and closed the door behind him. Yay, I exist.
At least they acknowledge that I exist.
Oh, the copyright. It begins. It begins.
Except there's a YouTube version.
Yep, there is. I'm just gonna use that. Alko was right. His clothes were a little soiled. I think this is the theme of the mansion. Right?
I guess, kinda,
it's only
yeah.
played in the
Come to think
mansion,
of it.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes sense that it's classical.
Well, yeah.
It's a waste of water, but I guess they should.
It's like, I don't understand this whole keeping clean thing.
Sojiro returned to his room, thinking that a bath might actually feel pretty nice in the cold weather, despite not really having broken a sweat at all during the day. He climbed the stairs from the foyer and up the second flight into the attic. Oh yeah, that scene about looking up at the stars. It's really, really relaxing. Unlike the other rooms in the mansion, this one had no frills to its decor. It was still a little cumbersome to use as a living space, but comfortable enough for Sojiro. Everywhere else in the mansion was a little too gaudy for his tastes. As far as shelter and a place to sleep went, Sojiro was more than satisfied with his accommodations. Also, I really like the song, just in general.
Yeah. It's nice.
There was no electricity in the attic. The only light that was that which crept from a small skylight. Not that Sojiro minded. He was more accustomed to living without electricity than living with it. Only the faint winter light to guide him. He readied a change of clothes and a towel before heading down to the foyer. Just the difference between the attic and everywhere else in the mansion.
Yeah.
Despite the magnificent size of the mansion, there was only one bath in the whole building. Really? And not a particularly large one at that. Whoever the architect was, he or she must have not thought a bath to be so important. Or perhaps they were not the bath type. Oh, just one bath, not one bathroom. Okay, that makes more sense. Sojiro descended into the foyer and made his way to the back of the stairs. He knocked on the door to the bath. As expected, there was no answer from the other side. The only other two occupants of the mansion were still talking in the drawing room. Hanazawa just answers. After confirming it was unoccupied, Sojiro quietly entered the bathroom. Even though Sojiro was not aware of it himself, as was common for him, the only hobby he had acquired since coming down from the mountain was taking a nice, relaxing bath. Sojiro had left but the two girls were still locked in their heated discussion. Needless to say, the topic in their conversation was still that of the outsider mage who had appeared in Misaki City last month. Toko! If only he told them.
Now?
Toko! If only he told them.
Is it Toko?
He has no reason to.
Aozaki?
Toko Aozaki. Still hate that I should have trusted my brain. Which is why there's a part of me that still believes in the wear-affair. There's a part of me that still thinks it was a bear. This was, after all, the problem that had occupied their time before this whole situation with Sojiro arose. Dealing with and eliminating the interloper who had set his or her sights on their territory.
今まではおとりにばっかり食いついてたから甘く見てたけど、それも計算づくだったのかしらね。
All this time we've been preoccupied by a decoy. No doubt also a part of their plan.
God, it's so saucy.
こっちが油断してる隙に本命を一つ奪われた。
Then, all distracted, they've crept in and stolen another one.
この相手との戦いはこれからが本番ってことか。
The fight against this mage has only just begun.
The situation was growing more dire by the day. Until only a couple of days ago, the enemy had limited themselves to small skirmishes. But now they have shifted to a full-on offensive. Aoko had two major bounded fields she used for defense. One, the larger of the two, was placed around Misaki City to detect magical energy and magecraft. Sorry, that's just a really big bounded field. Holy shit.
Yeah, well...
It makes sense,
She owns the town, remember?
It makes sense. It was used to observe and monitor visitors from outside the city, and was initially set up by Aozaki's ancestors, the administrators of this territory, and had no way to be removed. Okay, but like, Sojiro is still undetected. How? How?
Well, it's monitoring mages and magic, right?
Well, not by that one, though. By the other one, the smaller one that Alice put up.
Yeah, crazy
other,
that.
The other was set up to energize and manage ley lines from within the territory. The 5 sigils carved into the earth made up a standard square-type array, protecting all that lay within its bounds.
Type.
Square type? Type square?
I doubt it.
No, I'm latching on. No.
Why?
No, not really. Yeah. After some manipulation of the mana flow, the power within was directed to accumulate at the Kuonji estate. That is to say, the bounded field existed to monopolize the magical energy within Misaki City. There were 5 sigils in total, with the Kuonji estate located in the center. If all 5 sigils were forcibly removed, Aoko's jurisdiction over this territory would be in title only. Holy shit! It can be changed.
Well, if you lose control over it, then yeah.
Uh-huh. Without the power of the land to back them up, they would be forced to fight back against the invaders on equal ground, with only their own innate abilities to protect them. Aoko's pretty capable, but... and so is Alice, but... Toko. The only reason Alice... Toko. And the inexperienced Aoko were able to defend this territory so far was because of these 2 fields. The dragnet that notified Aozaki of any threats was also her lifeline. But this time, their enemy had somehow slipped through the cracks and was running rampant. This was what the girls had to face up to. Is she like...
どちらにせよ時間の問題ね。
Because she's making them avoid being detected, basically, right? She's making the puppets avoid being detected. Either way, it's just a matter of time at this point.
視点がすべて潰されたら、いよいよここでの籠城になるけど。いいの？青子。
Once all the sigils are destroyed, this mansion will be our last stronghold of defense. Are you okay with that, Aoko?
ん？別にいいんじゃないの？アリスの言う通り、残りの視点を消されるのは時間の問題なんだし。
I mean, what other choice do we have? Like you said, it's only a matter of time before the sigils are destroyed.
そりゃ敵のアジトを発見できれば同じだけど、それは絶対必要ってわけでもないでしょ？視点を消されても、私にはあんまり関係ないし。
Our best chance would be to find their hideout. It's not exactly a necessity. We can remove the sigils for all I care.
The hideout is the casino.
何より、館の守りはあんたがいる限り万全だしね。
That's where she was.
As long as you're here, then the mansion itself shouldn't be a problem to defend.
Oh yeah, she was so scary that Sojiro just quit his job. I forgot.
Yep.
It's like, boss, I quit. Goodbye.
Just like, everything is fine. Don't go over there. Also, I'm quitting. Goodbye.
あっちの方からやってきてくれるなら、それこそ飛んで火にいるよ。
And if they do, then they're marching to their own demise.
他に心配事なんてないでしょ。
What else is there to worry about?
そうね。敵が一人だけなら、その時は鏡の範囲をここに集中させて戦場にすればいい。私たちにとってその方が有利だったわ。
Nothing, I suppose. With only a single opponent to deal with, we're better off focusing the field of the mirror on the estate and making this mansion our last line of defense. Oh, he didn't quit?
Oh,
Okay.
right away. Okay. Oh, right. I think we thought that just because we thought he was gonna get fired.
Yeah, because I think
That's
any
how it
job
works
I
in
worked
America,
at
at
would
least.
have fired me for that, so
I mean, actually, no.
I would have just
Not
assumed that.
technically. Not every job in America. Fucking, like...
Your job?
Oh. Yeah.
You think you'd keep it if you did that?
You don't understand how hard up they are for people.
Alice touched the mirror on the table with her pale fingers. The surface of the mirror rippled like water. The mirror was another protector of Misaki City, separate from Alzaki's bounded fields. More accurately, it was a ploy that existed to protect Alice Kawanji, rather than Misaki City itself. It generated a thick fog and acted as an invitation to any visitors, drawing them into its board game-like world. Yeah, it definitely depends on their job, for sure. So it's to protect Alice. Oh, that's why the fog was there!
Yup.
Alice referred to it as only the mirror. But it was known to her friends as the mirror of slumber. This was a magecraft that Alice Kawanji wielded. Slumber. Within the rippling of the surface of the mirror, an image of a castle began to form, and also a lush forest, a field, and a river. Alice stared at the mirror in silence, before suddenly jumping to her feet off the sofa.
そうと決まれば、あとは行動あるのみね。
Now that that's all decided, I can get back to actually doing stuff.
出かけるわよ、アリス。とにかく現場を見ないことには始まらない。
So the mirror lets her watch things, basically?
I'm going out, Alice. Can't do anything until we have eyes on the ground.
Oh my god, it's kind of like a security camera, isn't it?
Yep. Kinda.
Alice let out a tired sigh in response to Aoko's determination, and they gave the mirror a gentle caress. The sound of dripping water filled the room. The mirror began to consume the table in a thick fog with a single caress from Alice.
順番に回るのなら、帰るのは朝になるわね。
If you're visiting each schedule, we definitely won't be back until morning.
まあまあ、そう億劫がらないで。
Nah, home
We're
in
gonna
no
go visit
time.
some sigils.
ところでアリス、火の五芒星の退去ってこうだっけ？
Oh, right. I meant to ask you, is this the proper way to do a fire pentagram banishment?
That is a spell name for sure. A fire pentagram banishment. Aoko traced a shape in the air with her fingers. She mimed a star shape, starting from the top, moving down to the right, and then to the upper left, and so on. Why did I do that with my finger and feeling?
そろそろ壊すこと以外も
I
覚え
need to
な
get
いと
hand
ダメよ。
hacking. I do so many things with my hands. It's about time you learned something other than how to break things, Aoko. That's true. That's all she knows how to do.
Basically, yeah.
Alice sat up from the sofa, letting out a heavy sigh. She's really good at breaking things though.
No response. She has nothing for that.
Oh my god! Like, look at the little blush! Look at the little blush! This isn't a menu.
Red to filth and back.
They both took their coats from their hangers and left the drawing room.
失礼ね。私だって日々成長してるわよ。
Well, excuse me.
That's a
I guess I need to study some more on top of all the studying I already do.
この間のおまじないだってちゃんと成功したんだから。
Oh yeah!
Remember that
she did
charm
do
I
that.
pulled off just the other day?
She did do that. I need to finish that art.
おまじない
What charm?
簡単な暗示の呪文。
That's simple, mesmerize.
That was a really good scene.
ほら、アリスが教えてくれた軽く弱く、うまく早く、チクタクチクタク、急げや急げってやつ。
No, the one you taught me. Light and frail, nimble and quick, tick-tock, tick-tock, there's no time to waste. That one.
それ本当
Are you being serious right now?
ほんともほんと。後で総重量に聞いてみなさい。
Yes, I'm serious. Soldier later if you don't believe me. It wasn't real, was it?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Was it not?
It's like, no, you just gave him courage by pressing your fucking,
I mean,
your
it
fucking
works.
finger to his forehead.
It works. It works. It works.
Because of your massive crush on Aoko, yes.
Hey! I love you.
Hi.
Alice swallowed her
Did it?
words,
I...
clearly displeased. Huh? I always
not
thought
remember
that. I always thought that.
Well, you
I
thought
always
correctly.
thought that it didn't do anything. I was right. I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong. She likely stopped herself in time to realize that it was not worth the effort to take issue with it. Yeah, because I remember saying, like, did it not do anything? And maybe it was, and then you're like, no, it does something. But it didn't.
Yeah, I was wrong.
And I just automatically believed you because I always assumed that I'm wrong.
You shouldn't.
I really shouldn't. On that topic, what will he do while we're away?
大丈夫でしょう。アリスの西館と開かずの間に入らなきゃ即死するようなことは。
Wait, what if that means I was right about the bear as well?
He'll be fine. As long as he doesn't try to go into the West Wing or anything like that, there shouldn't be any immediate threat to his...
My chair is literally falling apart. Alko responded hastily as she opened the door to the foyer.
No good.
It's a gamer chair, it's only natural.
Gamers fall apart. That's the law.
As soon as she did. What? Oh. What's it gonna be?
Him screaming?
Uh-huh. Just as quickly as Alice's doubts had gotten stuck in her throat, Alko suddenly froze, unable to speak. Hanazawa?
Nope.
Oh, that's what. I just remembered he was taking a shower.
A bath?
Or a bath. I forgot the baths were a thing that people do. For a moment, Oko wasn't sure who was standing before her. She could only stare at the glinting rays of sunlight creeping into the room as she reeled from the shock.
Oh no,
her mind
horniness.
was completely blank. Oh no, it is. It was as if she'd just woken up from a nap, or a jack-in-the-box had just opened in her face. Sojiro was probably the only person who knew how long that dumbfounded silence went on.
Because Alice is probably also overwhelmed.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Her face! It's the way it's...
What the hell are you doing standing there like that?
Alko had finally found her voice.
何って着替えてるんだけど。
Oh god, look at those scars.
Oh, yep.
I'm changing clothes. I don't think a deer could make those scars. Sojiro's response was matter of fact. Yeah, he's just like, what? He offered no explanation as to why he was changing in the foyer and not the bathroom. Also, he is just absolutely ripped.
Yeah.
Like Shiro. Alko is too shocked to read him the riot act. The riot act?
The riot, that means to like go off on him.
Sojiro was putting a shirt on after presumably just getting out of the bath. His neck was wrapped in bandages, and he was completely shirtless. Oh! It was mentioned. Again. His hair was wet, but his skin wasn't glistening from the steam of hot water. He must have washed himself with nothing more than cold water. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh yeah. No, it's fine. That doesn't affect everyone the same way it does you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember it too well, but I know I had to take a ice shower to bring down a fever once. Though shocked as to why anyone would do such a thing in this cold weather, she let it slide. The source of her silent stupor was simply his body. Up until now, she'd only seen him as harmless. Without his clothing to hide him, however, he was more fit than she'd ever imagined. Was there a similar scene with Shiro and UPW?
No, he's hot.
I thought you were doing Toby Maru for a second.
Oh no, he's hot.
Sono-G.
But yeah, no, just like I don't know.
For a rough mountain upbringing, there's one where one's body and strength meet survival. Perhaps he was even a bit underdeveloped. And on top of that,
それ、傷跡なの?
Are those scars?
Aoko asked cautiously. Sojiro followed her gaze. He had something that looked like a burn scar on his arm. It was random in appearance, nothing like Aoko's magic crest with its ordered patterns.
ああ、これか。ずいぶん前に野犬の群れに襲われて噛みつかれたんだ。命があっただけでも幸運だから、傷跡ぐらいはご愛嬌だ。
Oh, this? A long time ago I was attacked by a pack of wild dogs, and they bit me. It's a miracle I'm still alive. So if anything, I'm fond of the scar. So it's still... Okay. A long time ago. He must have been talking about when he was a child. I think he was attacked by several things, is the thing.
Yep.
A bear, deer, dogs. It's nature. Though his life was saved, it was apparent that he hadn't been able to receive proper treatment deep in the mountains where he lived. Those scars were proof of that. Considering it had happened so many years ago, it was likely they would never fade. If only for an instant, Aoko thought the wild scars left on his skin suited his lean body perfectly. It's also interesting that she went to burn scars immediately.
確かに。
I guess it's just what she's most used to.
Because you don't really get wild animal attacks in the city.
Yeah. But, I mean, yes, but why weren't you changing in your own room?
I know it's not pleasant to look at. I should have just changed in my own room. Sojiro sounded slightly ashamed as he put on his shirt, looking at Aoko standing there in cold silence. The two girls had no response. Sojiro headed for the stairs to go back to his room.
ちょっと待って、ソジロ。
What? Wait a second, Sojiro.
Sojiro stopped and turned around.
なんていうか。
So, how do I say this? They're actually really hot.
What the? Aoko looked away awkwardly, apparently not knowing why she had stopped him herself.
なんか青崎らしくない。
Huh? This isn't like you, Osaki.
さっきから変だけど、熱でもあるんじゃないのか？あれから満足に寝てないだろう、二人とも。
You're acting strange. Did you get a fever or something? I bet neither of you have gotten enough sleep since all that, have you? He was, of course, referring to the final exams. From Sojiro's perspective, the amount of work Aoko put in seemed strange.
熱なんてないったら。
I don't have a fever.
そうじゃなくて、どうしてこんなところで着替えてたのよ、あんたは。
That is genuinely a good question.
That's not what this is about. just want to know why the hell you're changing clothes here.
Alko was doing her best to keep up appearances, but for some reason, Sojiro was hesitant to say too much more.
それはその
So, well, this isn't easy to say.
言いづらいんだが、下着の管理はきちんとした方がいいと思う。どっちだかは知らないけど。
Oh my god, what? But you need to take care of your underwear better. I don't know whose it is, though. What? What? Alice, who has been completely silent behind Elko, couldn't resist responding to that statement. Although she hadn't wanted to get involved, this was something she couldn't ignore.
言っておくけど、それは青子だから。
Just, I take care of my shit.
Oh my god.
I am not the bad roommate.
Elko!
Just for the record.
Elko! I must point out, it was most definitely Elko. Alice's response was quick and to the point.
洗濯の当番は確かに私だったけど。
Just instantly. No, it was Elko.
Just not mine. Not mine.
Elko's.
That's an Alice line, isn't it?
Oh, I think it is. Is it?
洗濯の
Yeah. I may have been in charge of laundry, but Elko seems like she was holding back on going critical.
Oh, okay. Oh, it doesn't have one. I may have been in charge of laundry, but...
I need to stop assuming you're right on everything.
とにかく
Anyway, I have to get dressed, or I'm going to be late for work. Yep. Sensing that those two were probably about to get into an argument, Sojiro took his chance to leave. And with that, Sojiro briskly left the scene.
アリス。
Alice?
Look at Alice with her hand up to her mouth.
とりあえず、片付けてくるわ。
I'll go clean up. Alice calmly walked to the bathroom. A few minutes later, just as the two were about to head out and fulfill their duties as mages, Elko remembered something she wanted to ask.
そうだアリス。傷ってあれのこと？
Alice, do you think those scars were...
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It's only natural. It's only natural.
あれは傷跡じゃないわ。
Ooh, she's got her coat on. I don't think so.
だって、あんなにも誇らしいもの。
He seems so proud, after all. Elko agreed. Mm-hmm. What had impressed her the most was about these scars was how he treated them simply as a part of his past, absent of any regret. Body, I hate scars on my own body. I have one from dumping boiling water on myself on my birthday. It's still there. It's mostly faded now.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't look bad.
Honestly, this scene made me, hate it less, actually.
Yeah.
Elko wouldn't have gone so far as to say he was proud, but it seemed her instincts had been correct. That, and one more thing.
でも一つだけはっきりしたわ。
One thing is clear, though.
それじゃあ不覚にも見惚れてたのは私一人じゃなかったってことよね。
Oh my god, Alco!
I wasn't the only one who was pleasantly surprised at what I saw. Was I, Alice?
You're right. Also, that face. I love that face so much. Alco smiles brightly at Alice like a child who's doing something they shouldn't with their friend. Alice is trying to ignore her as best she could. She looked away without saying a word. Alco let out a satisfied snicker and began walking toward the front door. She got her! Revenge. Revenge.
公園からでいいでしょ。今回の件はあそこから全てが始まったわけだし。
Let's get going. You should probably start at that park, right? That's where this all started.
She was talking about the local park in Misaki. The place where they had run into the enemy puppets and, of course, where their involvement with Sojiro had all begun. Sono-G.
Oh.
Metal Gear.
Oh, that is good.
That's a part of that voice, isn't it?
It is.
Early the next morning. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. Most people were still in their beds, sleeping. Although some 24-hour convenience stores had opened last year, Misaki Town was still very much living in the good old days of early 80s. Also,
good old days before 9/11.
Sundowner, where'd you come from? Also, God, there's no 24-hour restaurants anymore. They're all gone.
Yep.
There's one. There is one in our entire town. I'm not gonna say the name.
Oh no, wait, that's not that big of a deal. I think we said what city we live in.
I mean, I'd rather not mention it, but like,
Yeah.
It's not. I almost said it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler to say that there's only one 24-hour place. It's not a spoiler.
Yeah, I thought you almost said the name of it though.
I didn't. I wasn't gonna. I'll only dox where I used to live.
By accident.
Even the tofu shop in the shopping district, known for opening earlier than anywhere else, didn't open until 6. I don't think anything would happen. This is the late 80s, during the latter half of Japan's bubble economy. It was a time when metropolitan areas never slept. Those in the countryside, however, remained in the past. The homes were blanketed in silence. The streets were empty of commuters, and not a single automobile could be heard. The sun was just barely peeking over the horizon. The town would still be asleep for at least an hour longer before it began waking up. It was during this time that someone stepped onto the Kwanji estate. Oh! Soichiro was working the late shift during the winter vacation and had just come home. He moved quietly through the drawing room so he wouldn't wake up Alco and Alice, who were presumably still asleep. The Kwanji estate had a few established rules. One of the rules forbade more Japanese tea. This new rule had only come into effect 3 days prior. It was proposed after Alice saw Sojiro drinking green tea in the kitchen after dinner one night. You ever just cause a rule?
Wait, did it say after Alice or Alco?
Or, Alice.
Yep, that's what I thought. So it's on you.
Oh?
Oh. Looking back on it, the decision had been made rather abruptly. That single gasp of surprise was all Alice said. She grasped her head as if she was battling the most vicious of migraines, called for Aoko, and then made the decision to ban all Japanese teas from this mansion. By some miracle, Aoko managed to negotiate and keep Sojiro's privileges to barley tea during the summer.
だいたいイギリス産だって初めはグリーンティーが主流だったじゃない。
Alice in the
British only drank green tea at first, you know?
Aoko had clearly hit a nerve with this argument. Aoko stared at Alice, fairly certain why she was so taken aback by Sojiro's actions.
そこまで嫌がらなくてもな。お茶はなんだって美味しいのに。
I don't get why it's such a big deal. Tea is good no matter what kind it is. That is not true for everyone, for sure. Sojiro grumbled to himself while he sipped his hot green tea. I like this song. Have you heard it before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's been a while though. He didn't realize that Alice was upset because he had poured his green tea into a teacup meant for black tea.
Jesus Christ.
There's teacups that are meant for certain types of tea?
Fucking rich British people, I swear to God.
In Sojiro's defense, this was the only teacup that Alice had given him permission to use. Oh my god, and that locks him out of any other kind of tea. At this rate, the early morning was his to enjoy. Fuck. This was his moment to relax with the Japanese tea set he'd smuggled in. You had that copied and pasted.
Actually, I copied and pasted it myself just now, but
He didn't use this time to read books or watch TV. He just drank his tea and gazed fondly at the garden, or rather, the dense woods outside. Sojiro simply sat, relaxed, and let his mind wander. That is something I kind of miss about where I used to live, just having the woods outside. Although I really stopped looking at it because I was just so used to it, I just completely took it for granted, but now that it's not here anymore, I kind of miss it a little.
yeah. I don't know, I'm definitely a fan of having, like, less insects to deal with.
That is true. That is a problem. I know...
Also, at least for me, the woods were too thick to see into, so there was no real view there.
Oh, ours, in New Jersey was... I said to stop, make sure it wasn't too specific. It was quite a bit more open. I don't remember it too well, but I apparently used to go exploring in them all the time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, also, fucking...
I said I used to be an outside girl. I don't know what happened. I think it was learning about all the things that were in the woods.
Yeah. I fucking... Like, I can't... Sorry, I was just remembering that, like, back when I used to live in the one space for, like, 90% of my life, like, my brain processed it like a fucking skybox. And I'm so... Looking around in my life now, I'm so happy to not process things like that anymore. You know?
Yeah. Also, sorry, I just realized I used to climb trees. What the fuck? What?
Oh. You know, I have never actually climbed a tree in my life.
I used to climb trees a lot. Wow.
I never understood how people had the fucking strength and how they were just fine with, like, getting splinters all over their fucking hands.
What the hell? There's some backstory. Like...
Wow.
Oh, I think the only ones that I could climb were the, what's it called? The pine trees? Because they have, like, lots of little branches that you can just walk on top of. God, that is so interesting. I think there was, like, also an old farm, so there were a lot of, like, neat places to explore. I would never do that these days. Please, no.
Oh, yeah.
No. I don't want ticks. I don't want anything. Sojiro simply sat, relaxed, and let his mind wander. About an hour passed. Also, just walking around was relaxing at the time. I'm realizing. I think just because there was no one else there. Okay, this is getting too personal. Let's keep.
It's just where you get to be you.
I guess. Oh god, the kayak story. Just as he was beginning to feel refreshed, he heard sounds coming from the foyer. He knew it was Elko and Alice talking, so he rushed to hide his teapot, and tea leaves in the kitchen. Illegal activity! Hiding the contraband was easy enough, considering just how many unused shelves were in the kitchen. I wish we had that problem. Sojiro was perturbed by how they wasted the potential of such a splendid kitchen.
Ha ha ha!
Felt that
That's
one.
real.
You felt that one.
Oh, you're up early,
she's
Sojiro.
there! She's there! She's there!
You mean Aoko Ozaki, one of the main characters of this visual novel? Yes, she is there.
Well, just because, early. Aoko spoke as she took off her white down jacket. I love that jacket on her. It works so well. Next to her, Alice silently took off her black coat.
いや、今帰ってきたんだ。天城浜の食品工場に深夜のパートで入ることになって、その帰り。
No, I just got home actually. I started working the late shift at the food factory over in Amagahama. Did I get it?
Amakihama?
Amakihama. I definitely. Sojiro stuck his head out from the kitchen and gestured that he was about to put on some water to boil. Alice tilted her head slightly at him. It wasn't that she thought his gesturing was funny or anything like that. God, I just feel really weird after like pulling those memories out.
Yeah. Raises some questions, certainly.
Amagihama? Alice glanced up at the clock in the drawing room, and her expression darkened.
どうしたの、アリス?
What's wrong, Alice?
Elko asked this from her comfortable seat on the sofa.
別に。
Nothing. Alice responded indifferently before finally sitting down as well.
宗十郎、砂糖は一杯だけだからね。
Sojiro! Just one spoon of sugar, remember?
Elko yelled her matter-of-course request into the kitchen. Sojiro didn't respond, but it was an affirmative silence. This was the result of 2 entire nights' worth of cramming that Alice knew nothing about.
アリスは?
What about you, Alice?
私はミルクだけでいいけど。
Oh, I think I'm just dissociating a little bit.
Oh, do you need a quick break?
Maybe. Be right back.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm back. They'll be back in a second. Everything is fine.
I'm back.
We just got some food and yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that. I realized that I didn't,
Oh, my tracking is being weird. I have to restart and sit through more capitalism.
Brain, please work. I realized that I didn't actually eat anything. And the Adderall had made me forget that.
No, I don't want to update it. No, stop it.
Let me just swallow
stop
one of
it.
these fucking,
No, stop it!
hard-boiled eggs whole.
It's what the fuck? No, it's not working. It's not working. Okay, there we go. I have a face again.
What's not working?
Give it a second though. Wait, why is it lagging so much? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna.
No,
be
your
a little
face was
laggy.
moving.
Oh, the app is being super laggy though. Let me try doing it like that. Okay, it's all fixed now. All right, let's go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, there's the ad. There's the ad. 2, 1. There. And try more of the trial version. I'll definitely buy it one day. Like, actually.
Definitely.
Okay, where's... I'll just have mine with milk. Alice responded out of obligation.
了解。ミルクティーだね。
Tea with milk. Got it. For some reason, Sojiro dutifully answered Alice's request.
ま、いいけど、いちいち突っ込んでたらキリがないし。
I get sick of it.
I'd get sick of his voice if he replied every time anyway.
それより珍しいじゃない。アリスがティーバッグのお茶飲むなんて。
Anyway, isn't it pretty rare for you to be drinking tea from a tea bag, Alice?
I only recently learned that not all tea came from tea bags. I also unfortunately recently learned what teabagging was. I wish I didn't know. I wish I could go back
recently.
to... God, how long is that? Like a couple months?
Months? Oh, it was before you lived here.
No, I lived here.
Really?
Deltarune finale was here.
Was that the finale?
I specifically remember my... Hey, Petey!
Oh, no. Hi, Petey.
I just remember staring at this specific monitor here on this table in horror, finding out what that meant, and that's why people kept crouching on me in online games! I did not want to know that. That was horrifying. Anyway. I would never forget that day. I'm just tired today. I thought I might as well. It seemed she'd allowed herself to accept another's kindness, at least for today.
ま、いいか。それより宗十郎。
If you say so. More importantly, Sojiro?
あんた、さっきおかしなこと言わなかった？
Didn't you say something weird earlier?
え、別に言ってないぞ、そんなこと。
I don't think so. Also, something is going... just having that child at the mansion, or the, not mansion, old school. It's about the size of the mansion, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that's... Something has got to happen with that, right? Black, the music cutting out the whole time.
Oh? I could have swore you said something.
Chekhov's child. The two were conversing over a distance of 4 yards. I mean, we also have, what is it all? There's so many people on play here that just haven't shown up for a while. Alice decided to add her opinion to the conversation.
しずきくんがおかしなことを言わない日はないと思うわ。
I don't think a day has ever gone by where he hasn't said something weird, to be honest. Her quiet tone was luckily just low enough that Sojiro couldn't hear her from the kitchen.
そりゃそうだけど、今ちょっと変だったでしょ?
I agree, but seriously, wasn't he talking kind of strangely just now?
いや、何が引っかかったのかまではわからないんだけどさ。
I don't exactly know how to describe it.
そうね。会話自体は普通だったけれど、内容を考えてみるとどこかおかしいわね。
True, the conversation itself was normal, but something he did seemed off about what he was trying to say, or what he was saying. Alka became gradually more irritated as she failed to grasp what had been odd about the conversation. Just then, Sojiro appeared holding a tray with a teacup for each of them.
何を話してるんだ? 単に新しいアルバイトを始めただけだろ.
A new job? What are you guys talking about? I literally just said I started a new part-time job. That's all. He put the cups down on the black table without making even the slightest sound. Alice couldn't complain about how proper his job as a waiter had made him. While she didn't say anything out loud, she did nod in his direction to show some gratitude. After working at Kohl's, like, I noticed, like, whenever I start folding clothes, I just get into the rhythm of it. Jobs really, like, ingrain themselves in you. Elko, however.
Yep.
天城浜だっけ? あそこってスタジアムがあるところでしょ? ツアーの会場になるから時々行くけど.
Don't she still say, like...
Amagihama, was it? There's a huge stadium over there that I go to sometimes and a band I like is on tour.
She wanted to go see bands now. That's something about her. She's always been into, like, music, huh? She has guitars and goes to see bands. Oh. Yep. It makes sense. That's Alko. The student
that's
council
right. In
president,
the 80s, it
as
was
opposed
considered
model student,
rebellious.
loved rock bands. Yeah, it's just so commonplace now. Alko is secretly obsessed with a number of bands and used to travel way out of town just to see them perform live when she was in middle school. She probably knows some of their songs. Of course, this is a world that Sojiro is far from familiar with.
それより、また新しいバイト始めたんだ。そんなに働いてどうする気なのよ、宗十郎は。
Anyway, can't believe you started yet another part-time job. What are you trying to accomplish working that hard, Sojiro?
That reminds me of something you brought up, like the difference it makes when, like people like see the results of what they're working on directly.
Oh. Alienation under capitalism?
Which is probably what Sojiro is used to in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Like not having that.
ああ、よく聞いてくれたね。
Oh, you were listening.
本人の名誉のために名前は伏せるけど、誰かさんと誰かさんが俺の少ない収入を無慈悲に奪っていくから、 働く先を増やしたんだ。
He's getting feisty.
I have to work more because there are a couple of people in my life who like to take all my money from me for every little thing you can imagine. This is as much resistance as Sojiro was able to give. Aoko lifted her teacup to her mouth as she was completely oblivious to Sojiro's monologue.
それは大変ね。
Sounds rough. Alice said this as she set her teacup down quietly. There were some things she just did not understand. Aoko had to hold back her laughter as she looked at Alice and Sojiro.
言った自分が未熟だった。
I should have known better than to say anything. I love that smile. Sojiro's shoulders fell as he said this. He took a sip of his black tea, unsure about the taste still.
まあ、アルバイトが多いって分かってくれるだけでいいか。
As long as you know I'm working a lot, I guess it's fun. Or
そうい
that's
ったわけ
fun.
だから、冬休み中は夜も留守にする。例の薬はアルバイト先で飲むしかないんだけど。
Oh no. So that means I'll also be away at night during winter vacation. I'll have to take those pills at work, though.
ああ、それなら心配いらないわ。も
Wait,
うあれはやめたから。
it's over? No more pills?
Oh,
No more poison
don't worry
pills?
about those. I'm done with
Poggers!
those.
いちいち作るのも面倒だし、もっとしずきくんに似合うのを見つけてきたの。
They were a pain to make. I found something more suitable for you anyway.
See this bracelet? Put it on and you'll explode if you, don't come back. Oko had a huge, ominous, grin on her face.
Ominous grin on her face.
Stop it! She put her hand into her jacket pocket
Crazy
and pulled
scene.
out a little paper bag. It was a small, circular object about 20 inches in diameter, wrapped up nicely, like a present.
はい、これは入居祝い。これからはそれをつけておくのよ、宗十郎。
Here's a little something to celebrate your moving here. I want you to wear that from now on. Sojiro.
Sojiro opened the paper bag. Inside was a white belt. But it wasn't a belt for putting around your waist to keep your pants up. Like a dog! Like a dog! To put it as clearly as possible,
Oh,
it was a
great
collar.
Aoko.
A kitten! Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Alice's expression darkened at this turn of events. But it wasn't clear whether it was her friend's insidiousness or sympathy for Sojiro that concerned her.
どう？気に入った？
Oh my god. And then, so not only does Nasu write the bottle scene financial domination, now literally coloring him.
Oh my god.
So, what do you think?
Oko was clearly a little crazy. At least she wasn't totally
Clearly.
serious.
Crazy.
Hey, stop making fun of it. It was obvious that
All I'll ask is, do you want to wear that collar?
I don't know. It was obvious that it was at least half a prank to just see how such. It was just a prank. It was just a prank. But Sojiro was solemnly considering the collar he'd just been gifted.
うん。意味はつかみかねるけど、 こういうものを人からもらうのはこれが初めてだ。
Aww. I'm not exactly sure what this means, but it's the first time anyone has given me something like this. He actually sounded like this would be a happy memory for him. Alice narrowed her eyes at what was transpiring.
けど、これは何に使うんだ?
But what exactly am I supposed to use this for?
簡単よ。金庫寺と同じで、飼い犬が主人に逆らうと首を絞めるの。あっちは頭につけてたけど、それよりは首のがマシでしょ?
What's Journey to the West? Should I know what that is? I mean, I shouldn't.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not, actually. You know me. You know I don't know anything.
Holy shit. Journey to the West was the classic, like, Chinese story that, like, 90% of early anime was based on.
Really?
So, like, Sun Wukong, or in some
right?
translations, Sun Goku, was the Monkey King.
Oh my god, and he's a monkey. I don't know anything.
That's right.
God, I don't know anything.
Monkey.
Monkey. The monkey. He's the monkey.
Pretty much, yeah.
Seriously though, how... I don't know anything. I don't know anything! Alright, is this more or less baffling than Columbo from Star Wars?
Honestly, for you, more.
Because I'm a weeb.
Because, like, at least then I'd be like, well, Star Wars. You know, she doesn't really know Star Wars. Like, she's only really watched anime. But it's like, oh, you don't even know that. You don't know that. Okay. That's baffling.
I only watched...
That's adorable.
I think I only started watching anime, like, late high school?
Still!
I don't think I watched much before then. And simple, or Alco. It's alkaline.
It's simple. It's like the golden headband in Journey to the West. Wukong had to wear it if he stepped out of line. Though this you wear around your neck like a dog collar.
Sojiro grimaced when he finally understood Alco's mean-spirited gift. He really wanted to ask her what kind of person comes up with such an evil idea. Clearly Alco.
つまり、秘密をばらしたり逆らったりしたら首が締まると。
That's you.
So basically, if I divulge any secrets or disobey you, then the collar will choke me. Is that right? Then the collar will choke me. Is that right?
やっぱり熱でもあるんじゃないのか、青崎は。
Are you sure you're feeling well, Aosaki?
あら、首輪は嫌？せっかく宗十郎に似合いそうなものを見つけたのに。
Oh, do you not like it? I tried to pick out what I thought would suit you best.
Crystal had that evil grin on her face. But Sachiro had a... It's a great look! It's a great smug look! I love it! I love it!
Sorry, I just looked over to see you just like halfway bouncing around and just going like...
Hey! But Sachiro had a surprising response to this gift that Alco had clearly gotten as a prank.
そうか。毎日毒を飲むよりはマシだし。
It is way better than taking poison every day. I guess
Wearing a dog collar from Alco Ozaki?
Way better than poison. I guess you're right. I mean, it's better than taking poison every day. It's better than taking poison every day. And the bell itself looks well made.
気に入った。あり
Aww!
がとう、青崎。
I actually like it. Thank you, Haosaki. Oh my god, her face! He spoke 100% truthfully. Aoko's face contorted in disbelief, and she could only mumble if he was serious.
人の行為はどんなものだって嬉しいよ。
Oh my god, Sono-G! Sono-G! I'm happy about any act of kindness.
それに、それが青崎ならなおさらだ。
Even more so when it's from you, Aozaki. My heart! And with that, Sojiro put the belt around his neck. He placed it over the bandages already there.
こんな感じかな?
The shroud.
きついけどそのうち慣れるだろう。
I guess this works. It's a little tight, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Despite his words to the contrary, Sojiro tugged at the belt uncomfortably and adjusted it. It was such a perverse scene that even Aoko's face was red as a beet, even though all this had been her idea. Perhaps because it gave her such a clear reminder of the scar she had seen the day before.
よし。止め方はこれ
The
でいいのか?
muscles underneath.
Oh, it's actually on now! Of course it's on. It's Mahoya.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Is it on right? Aoko retreated guiltily as Sojiro came closer to her to check the fit of his new collar.
黙ってちゃわからないのに。
If you don't say anything, how will I know if it fits right?
いいよ。アリスに聞くから。
It's okay. I'll just ask Alice. Sojiro shifted his gaze from Aoko to Alice. Alice stared intently at Sojiro wearing his new collar and said,
ロックね。青子、趣味に走りすぎ。
Oh my god! Sojiro. Punk rock. Aoko, stop trying to dress him how you want him to look. She could not have put it any more bluntly.
いや、やかましい。そんなんじゃない。
Oh my god, Aoko! Aoko!
Shut up! That's not what I was trying to do!
もういい。とにかくそういうことよ。これからはその首輪が薬の代わりよ。せいぜい秘密を守ることね。
Just ignore her! From now on, the collar will replace those pills I was giving you. Don't go divulging any of our secrets.
Oh, her hair is just in the back. Aoko was oddly emphatic when she spoke as she spoke before stomping off towards the hallway.
それと、これからお昼まで仮眠を取るけど、くだらないことで起こしたら
Go
殺
for
す。
you.
I'm going to take a nap until lunch. If you wake me up for any stupid reason, I will murder you.
Some good reason. Aoko slammed the door behind her as she left the drawing room. Sojiro stared in amazement.
なんで青崎はいつもいきなり怒るんだろう。
I'll never understand why she gets so mad like that all of a sudden. He murmured to himself, forgetting that Alice was standing right there in front of him.
しずきくんには悪意が通じないからでしょう。気にする必要はないわ。
I assume it's because her ill intent does not seem to get through to you. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you.
悪意って今のが?
Ill intent? What? Just now? Alice looked up at Sojiro's innocent response. Aww. There was a glimmer in her eyes that showed surprise at her current actions.
なんでもないから気にしないで。
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. With that terse reply, she returned to her usual expressionless self. There was no use explaining Aoko's feelings. Aoko bought that collar for the sole purpose of annoying Sojiro and causing mischief. When things didn't turn out how she'd planned, her conscience got the better of her. Sojiro mistakenly thought Aoko was angry at him, when in reality, she was only angry at herself. Nothing like a genuine grateful reaction to throw that off, huh?
Yep.
Alice didn't bother telling Sojiro all these heartwarming details, though. Not because there was too much work, just because she was never one to have meaningless conversation. That was how she'd been raised.
しずきくんは
Necessary.
これからどうするの？
And then? God, that's her nose. So what are your plans for the rest of the day, Shizuki? Alice suddenly changed the topic. Sojiro thought a while before replying.
夕方までゆっくりするよ。ここのところ忙しすぎた。
I'm just going to relax until the evening. I've been way too busy recently.
せっかくだからテレビも見ていたいし、お昼には青崎を起こさないと
He
いけないだろ。
watches TV now. I want to watch some TV now, since we have to wake up Alzaki at lunchtime, right?
そう。なら静かにしていて。
Right. Just keep it quiet, then. Alice let out a gentle sigh and rose to her feet. I just love that she only speaks when necessary, and then it's so good. Just keep quiet. Sojiro would understand exactly what she meant by those words in just a few minutes. The sun shining through the window was bright. It was about 9 o'clock, about time for the morning television programs to get going. God, that must be huge for Sojiro. I'm just realizing just having all the information of the world on TV. Watching something that's
Quite
going
all
on,
the information, but yeah.
just halfway across the world. That's nuts. Sojiro was sitting on the sofa, staring out the window at the scene outside. The view from the neighboring sunroom showed a courtyard in a state of disrepair. Sojiro could appreciate the outdoors in both its natural, wild state and when tamed by human hands.
あれは近いうちになんとかせねばならない。
Sojiro mows the lawn. I really need to do something about that sometime soon. Sojiro muttered to himself, turning another page in his textbook. On the table before him was a mathematics textbook and a notebook with Aoko's name on it. Although at first glance he appeared to be a diligent student studying on his day off, he was in truth only doing so as a compromise. He had given up on his main intent of watching the morning television shows. The reason why he gave up was simple. Oh, he was being considerate of Alice, who sat in front of him with her nose buried in a book. Instead of holding herself up in her room, she brought out her old, dusty books to read. This is what she had meant when she had said to keep quiet. Sojiro found it difficult to turn on the TV.
とりあえずしばらくテレビは控えよ
I guess they won't be watching TV for a while. Also, Sanny. Look at the TV.
Oh, Sanny.
Sanny. Sanny.
Sunny.
Sunny. With that decided, Sojiro resigned himself to reviewing some of the practice problems he'd gotten wrong. In the drawing room, for some reason. There wasn't any particular purpose in doing it here, but he also had no real reason to study back up at his room. Great products. Like the ploy station. And the...
Did you
Oh,
just...
that wasn't intentional, but I'm happy.
That wasn't intentional?
It wasn't. I realized the second I said it, I was like, wait, hold on. It works.
It's like, oh wait, that's actually really funny.
It's a ploy kick shot. I'm rarely funny intentionally. Rarely.
That is not true.
And it keeps happening off stream. And so there he was, leisurely highlighting his textbook with Alice there in the same room. There's just a level of comfort that's required to, like, do stuff in the common areas in a house, huh?
Yeah.
To Sojiro, there
Maybe
was
less
really
so
no...
back then.
To Sojiro, there was really no difference between his room and the attic and the drawing... in the attic and the drawing room with Alice. To be fair, probably could live with a tiger as long as it didn't cause any trouble. Tiger. Well, clearly that one wouldn't cause it. Would not cause trouble.
Yeah, obviously.
That was both
Alice
Sojiro's
would not be able to
strength.
sleep peacefully.
Sorry, I just imagine Taiga in the Kuachi estate. What? Sojiro's staying here? I can't do a Taiga at all. Your Taiga is iconic. That was both Sojiro's biggest strength and his biggest weakness. Before he knew it, the clock was showing 11. I love how they keep showing the clock to show passing time.
Yeah.
Like it ticking over. He'd spent over 2 hours doing his math problems, but wasn't even halfway finished. More than that, he was disappointed in himself for lacking the courage to speak up at all. In comparison, Aozaki is really working hard. He dropped his mechanical pencil onto the notebook and watched it roll away. He knew that Aoko and Alice were busy with something since their final exams had ended. He also knew that she had hardly gotten any sleep recently. If she had been able to ignore him during exams, she probably would have had an easier time. Today's nap was probably the first proper sleep Aoko had gotten in days. Dealing with so much. She showed no signs of exhaustion, despite the fact that she must have hit peak long ago. She always seemed raring to go. It wasn't that she was trying to act tough. It was just the kind of person she was. Always positive, always tough as nails. And that was exactly why she came off as completely irrational at times. But if that was the case, you could probably describe Alice in exactly the same way. Sojiro couldn't help but feel a bit inadequate when he saw their single-minded focus on their goals. He'd been so preoccupied with adjusting to his new life that he'd neglected to think about what he was going to do with himself after. God, I get that. Thinking about this cast a gloomy cloud over his heart. It felt like he'd never find a clear purpose in life, like Aoko and Alice seemed to have. God, I get that. Oh god. So good. At least not since he left the mountains. Wait, it's permanent? It's permanent. His old life is gone now, never to return. He was like a kite cut from its string, destined to fly only where the winds took it. And without anything to ground him, he couldn't do anything about the empty future that lay ahead. He could only let himself fly where the currents took him, slowly losing sight of the ground below. Sorry, this just brings up some past stuff.
Yeah.
I have a goal now. I have several.
Yeah.
Too many. I mean, writing my visual novel is my ultimate goal, but there's a lot of other things along the way I want to do. I guess I never
just remember, the
really
one after
had
that would
anything
be even
before
better.
that. That's true. But yeah, I guess I never did have anything before that.
Yeah. That's not that surprising.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you.
そうだな。便利なものは溢れているけど、本当に望むものは。
There's all the conveniences you could ask for here, but nothing I truly desire. And nothing I truly desire. The town was full of options, and he could find nothing. He asked himself the same questions, time and time again. It never made him feel any better. If anything, it only made him feel worse and worse. That, or maybe he felt that lamenting his own ineptitude would lead to finding some kind of goal or desire someday. Tired of his own sniveling, Sojiro dejectedly closed his notebook. When he looked up, he saw his own face reflected back at him in the TV screen. There's always just something so weird about turning off the TV and just seeing your face in it.
Also, just such a simple goal. And he couldn't even do that. Just watch TV.
Yep. It's so good. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm just weird, but like when I'm watching something, I usually forget that I have a body.
Nah,
so
similar.
when I turn off the TV, I just see my reflection. I'm like, wait, what? What is this? What? Like even now, if I saw my reflection, I'd be like, what? My body isn't this VTuber that is mirroring my every motion?
I mean, it basically is.
I wish. His new collar was there around his neck, looking as out of place as ever. Oh, that reflection is so good. Perhaps a fool like him, who felt weak when faced with other strengths, did not need to wear a collar after all. I always felt that, like, not being, like, super dedicated or good at one specific thing.
Jill of all trades.
I think I found my, like, answer to that more or less in making something like a visual novel, because it's a combination of all sorts of things.
Yep. Stuff like directing or making a visual novel or GMing, for instance.
Yep, which is something else I like a lot.
Uses like that ADHD ability to like quickly gather skill at a bunch of things, but inability to focus on any one thing to achieve mastery of it.
Also, neurodivergent characters in my Nazi-verse novel, it's more likely than you think. This is silly.
Shocking.
I shouldn't worry about this until I'm actually an adult. He shook off his thoughts of doom and gloom and sat up straight. After psyching himself up a little, he stood up from the sofa.
よし。何か作るけど、アリスは?
I'm gonna make some food. Want anything else? Sojiro asked casually. While Sojiro had been doing his own thing, he remained mindful of Alice. Alice looked up, surprised at hearing her name. She had completely forgotten Sojiro was even there.
私?
Me?
ああ。アリス、朝から紅茶しか飲んでないだろ。どうせ作るなら、いっぱい作った方がお得なんだ。
Yes, you. You've only had some tea all morning. If I'm going to be cooking, I might as well cook for everyone. Without waiting for her reply, Sojiro headed off to the kitchen while putting on his apron. Alice tried to wave at him to stop, but by then he'd already disappeared into the kitchen. She was hesitant to walk all the way in there just to tell him she didn't need anything. And besides, she was actually hungry. Just like, this is happening. Okay, this is happening. Sojiro's proposal made sense.
Being called out, are we?
Stomach agreed. Alice is hungry.
Except that you would walk all the way into the kitchen to protest.
I would, and then you'd say no.
Yep.
Then you ask if I needed to lay down, and then say it was because of food, and you'd be right. Alice is hungry, and Sojiro was going to make lunch. Making lunch for both of them would save the time and trouble of cooking 2 separate meals. There was no logical reason for Alice to refuse his gesture. She decided to stay quiet and tacitly accept his offer. He's so strange. Strange one. She whispered the words softly, not for anyone in particular to hear, but herself. The truth was, however, Alice had been in a bad mood all morning. After checking all the sigils around Misaki City and boarding the first train back from Tokawa, all she wanted to do was spend the rest of her day reading until the words turned into a jumble. Her iron resolve to complete this task would not be interrupted by someone else milling about in the drawing room. This was her mansion, and there was no way she was going to lock herself up in her room on the account of Sojiro. However, with that said, she knew it would be wrong to kick Sojiro out for no real reason. As it stood, Sojiro had actually kept quiet like she'd asked. He wasn't in the wrong here. If Alice had really wanted to be alone, she should have gone to her room. Yup, public spaces are public.
Yep.
じゃなくて、一人にさせてと言うべきだった。
I should have told him to leave me alone instead of telling him to be quiet. Alice had defiantly stayed in the drawing room despite realizing the dilemma she put herself in. She had figured Sojiro would eventually make a ruckus and run off to hide in his attic room. Her assumption could not have been more wrong. Sojiro never left the drawing room. Moreover, she had actually stopped caring that he was there. Though he hadn't paid her any attention, he had not ignored her either. They simply sat in silence together without any awkwardness. Alice felt the freedom of being alone, along with the comfort of someone being by her side. Fuck.
Right, count up.
Yep. To put it into words, Sojiro was just that kind of person. Sorry, I just think I'm having a small breakthrough here. That was probably the only reason Alice had been able to sleep so soundly with him there next to her. It's a Nasu work, it does that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sojiro continued cooking in the kitchen, oblivious to the thoughts that went through Alice's head. She couldn't see him from the drawing room, but she could easily imagine him cooking in the kitchen. He really is strange. Alice resumed reading after unwittingly stating her feelings out loud a second time. The sunlight beaming into the drawing room showed that it was noon. The sunlight actually looked warm, despite it being a cloudy winter day. Just as noon struck, Sojiro returned to the drawing room with 2 sets of plates. Some food of an indescribable color was piled on the large cream-colored plates. Oh my god! This is this song! She hadn't expected much. And since she also hadn't requested anything, she could just refuse it if it was something she didn't want. My god. This food left her at a loss for words, despite psyching herself up. What is this? Alice spoke, as though she was terrified of what had been placed before her. I love this song! Huh? I just put some stuff on top of stir-fried udon noodles. Stuff. If Aoko had been there, she probably would have just punched him. But Sojiro just confidently placed the 2 large plates on the table. Oh my god. Steam billowed from the mountain of food like an angry volcano, ready to erupt at any moment. The thick mystery sauce flowed all over the plate as magma might from said eruption. And below it all were a seemingly infinite number of slimy, tentacle-like noodles. I will not eat anything if I don't know exactly what's in it. I know, right? There is really nothing more to say about it. This was clearly the food of a poor, struggling student who favored quantity over quality. All that was required was a basic recipe, the will to cook something, and what few ingredients were needed. The pile of stir-fried noodles with sauce slathered on top was so horrifically bad, it was almost an art form. This was a bachelor's cooking, if she'd ever seen it. There was really nothing else you could call it. Okay, so this is what we have to cook for Mihoyo.
How do we replicate that? Like,
I
mean,
don't
okay,
know. Just
like...
go off of image. Go off the image. I will try it. I tried the mapo tofu. I will try
that looks
it.
like,
I will try it. I will try one bite of it.
That looks like
bell peppers, right?
Peppers, celery.
Write it down. Write it down.
Other colored peppers. I think that's the noodles below. A hard-boiled egg.
Udon noodles, they're thicker.
Fucking, like, what is that? Fucking,
it's just an amalgamation
melon?
Of everything. Melon?
I think that's
or pineapple?
Maybe.
I hope. I want an official recipe. Please, Type Moon. Please. Zucchini. Zucchini.
Zucchini, yeah. Oh yeah, I see it now.
Zucchini. Oh my god, we have to try this. It might be like the mapo tofu where it's just so good that I can't help but take more bites.
Despite the pain?
Despite the immense amount of pain and needing to drink like a fourth of a milkshake to not scream.
With every bite.
And then when I ran out of milkshake, she'd wondered what he was doing for an hour in there. And it turned out he had been making this sauce. Oh god, but the secret sauce. There's no way we could replicate the secret sauce.
It's going to somehow be delicious, isn't it?
No sauce would have been fine, but Sojiro had wholeheartedly gone the extra mile. Sojiro bowed his head slightly and picked up his chopsticks. He had brought a fork for Alice. The tremble in the fork! The tremble in the fork! It's trembling!
It's beautiful.
Her hand is shaking. She picked up the fork and stuck it into the noodles, half drowning in sauce. Sojiro began eating, not seeming to care what Alice sat there looking like. Or, not seeming to care that Alice sat there looking like she was about to eat poison. I mean, he'd been eating poison for a while, so...
Yep.
Seeming to view this as a challenge, Alice furrowed her brow and slowly brought the mass of noodles to her mouth. It was a little salty and ugly to look at, but it didn't taste all that bad. If anything, it was actually pretty good. It was good. So, I want to ask you something. Sojiro put down his chopsticks and turned to speak to Alice.
実際の話、魔術師の話はともかくとして、
No, she
青
is
崎は
not.
まだ誰にも手を出してないんじゃないか。
Be honest with me. Meet or not, Aosaki hasn't actually taken a life yet, has she? Alice looked up quietly at the sudden question. She had been inspecting Sojiro's meal, but now she looked straight at him.
おかしなことを聞くのね、しずきくんは。
That's a rather odd question, Shizuki.
アリスには悪いけど、これは青崎本人には聞きようのないことだから。言いたくなければ答えないでくれ。
I know. I hate to ask you, but it's just not something I feel comfortable asking Aosaki directly. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. Alice didn't respond, so Ichiro resumed eating, not seeming disappointed. Alice stared blankly at him, slurping his noodles. After much hesitation, she replied,
しずきくんの言う通り、青子はまだ人を殺したことはないわ。
No, just like you said, Aoko hasn't killed anyone yet.
その行為自体は何回かこなしてはいるけれど。
She has been involved in that sort of thing multiple times, though. Alice's response was slow and measured. Sojiro still looked troubled. Not at the conversation they were having. Rather, he looked apologetic towards Alice. He said she didn't have time to He said she didn't have to answer. She didn't want to. But Alice kept talking, despite the face he was making.
しずきくんが見た公園での出来事が青子にとって初めての殺人行為よ。あいにく相手は人形だったけど。
That day you saw us in the park was the first time Aoko had ever killed anything. It was just a puppet, though. Sojiro silently nodded. Alice narrowed her eyes at him suspiciously.
まるで初めから分かっていたそぶりね。
It almost seems like you knew all of this from the beginning.
そうじゃな。いや、そうなのかな。
No, not. Well, maybe?
たまにその手のセリフを言うけど、何か違う気がしたんだ。だから多分、青崎はまだ人殺しというのを体験していないんじゃないかって。
She just says stuff like that sometimes, but it's never felt like she's ever actually killed anyone before.
でもまあ、そんなことよりもっと確かなのは。
But more than that, I guess the best evidence is
しずきくんが今生きているということね。
the fact that you're still alive. Sojiro chuckled at Alice's stellar response. Exactly. Oh, look at the red. Things would have been more clear-cut that night if Aoko actually killed someone before. Sojiro would have been dead before he even saw her face. For better or for worse, Aoko remained inexperienced in spite of her ruthlessness and decisiveness. Sojiro relaxed his shoulders. His stern face gradually returned to its normal, carefree state. Then...
でも、そんなことは関係ないわ。
But even so, none of that really matters.
あの子はそのあたりが異常だから。
Also
行為は
quite
理性
kind
に、経験は知識でたやすく補ってしまう。
That's just the way she is. She acts with reason and uses her knowledge to make up for any inexperience she might have.
そうね。青子はその気になれば、迷うことなく人の命に手を出せる。しずきくん風に言うのなら、だけど。
Shizuki, I think if she really felt like it, she could take another person's life, as you put it. And with that, Alice went back to twirling noodles around her fork. She looks like she's having fun, Sojiro thought, as he ruminated over what she just said. She was rational enough to accept herself, despite acting against society's morals, and possessed of an intellect that exceeded even the confidence gained through experience. Had Aoko been raised to utilize her logic and reason to forge reality from fiction? If that was the case, then perhaps they really were different from Sojiro.
すまない。こんなことを聞いたのは、青崎には内緒にしておいてくれないか。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you please not tell Aozaki that I asked you this? Sojiro seemed serious, as if he really regretted asking. Alice's expression remained unchanged, but she had never intended on saying anything to Aoko anyway.
ありがとう。なんだか、アリスには内緒話ばかり溜まっていくね。
Thank you. I'm not sure why, but I seem to have a lot of secret conversations with you. Sojiro went back to eating his food. Though Alice still only had a single bite, he was already scraping his clean.
そういえば青崎にも聞いたんだけど、アリスと青崎はいつも会うなのか？
I already asked Aozaki this, but do the two of you always get along like that? Sojiro had suddenly decided to change the topic of conversation. His new topic was the rather cold and dry relationship between Aoko and Alice. Aoko said the relationship was normal, but maybe Alice had a different opinion.
会話が少ないことを言っているのなら、そうなるわ。
If you're talking about how rarely we talk to each other. Sorry, my voice is. If you're talking about how rarely we talk to each other, that's just what happens. What?
けど別に不便じゃないから。
You gonna be okay? Keep going? Or we
Yeah.
probably want to end after this scene, I assume.
After this scene, definitely. But
Yeah.
it's convenient. It isn't something that bothers us. Alice was still twirling noodles with her fork as she gave her concise answer. Around and around the noodles went, but none made it into her mouth.
不便じゃないって、そういうの仲がいいって言わないんじゃないのか。
What do you mean it's convenient? Do you mean that you're friends?
私と青子の仲が良くないとしずきくんは困るの？
Would it make things difficult for you if we didn't get along? Sojiro swallowed his words at Alice's perplexed reply. It would, actually, but as it wasn't sure how to respond when asked so directly.
いや、なんかこっちの考え方が悪かったみたいだ。もうその話題には触れないことにしたから忘れてくれ。
No, maybe I was just thinking about it the wrong way. I promise I won't bring it up again, so just forget I asked.
それより、アリス。
More importantly, Alice. Sojiro gave Alice a piercing stare that was more intense than any time they'd talked before. Alice was taken slightly aback at the unusually intense look in his eyes. Her face became slightly flushed out of nervousness. Nobody besides Aoko had ever stared at her like this before. Whether or not he noticed, Sojiro waited a few moments before speaking slowly and with complete conviction.
それ、食べないなら欲しいんだけど。
The music stopped and everything. It was. If you're not going to eat that, do you mind if I have it? An awkward silence followed.
悪いけど、これ私のだから。
Sorry, this is mine. Shizuki had cooked it, sure, but Alice wasn't wrong. He had made it for her, after all. Also, I'm definitely still a little sick. It wasn't a mistake. There was a slight tinge of anger in her voice. But even she wasn't sure why it was there.
そうだね。少し意地汚かった。
You're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Sojiro plopped himself down on the sofa. This must have looked particularly pathetic to Alice, since she responded with,
その材料はもう残ってないの？
Oh? Are there any ingredients left to cook with some more? She quickly covered her mouth. Apparently, she had surprised even herself. It was quite unusual for her to ask something like that.
残ってないよ。青崎の分も作っちゃったから。
Oh, Alco has some too now! Nope. I used everything and made some for Alzaki as well. Sojiro stared a bit regretfully at Alice's plate as he responded. Alice could have just let it go, but for some reason she felt the need to speak up again.
青子なら眠っているけど。
But Alco is still sleeping.
いや、
The
もうす
fridge.
ぐ起こすから。起きた後で作らされるより、一緒に作っておいた方が楽だしね。
Or just wake her up. Yeah, but I'm gonna wake her up soon, and she'd have told me to make her something anyway.
と、もうすぐ1時か。ちょうどいい。行って起こしてくれよ。
Speaking of which, it's almost 1 o'clock. I'll go and wake her up now.
青子は 起こしたら殺すって言ってたけど。
She did say that. She did say that. Didn't she say
Like,
she'd kill you
yeah.
if you woke her up? Huh?
But we've also established that she can't kill people.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! Alice wasn't sure why Sojiro was willing to take such a risk. Sojiro agreed, but started walking anyway.
でもさ、今起こしておかないと、やっぱり後で殺される運命にあると思うんだ。
Maybe so, but I feel like if I don't wake her up now, she's not going to end up she's going to end up killing me later anyway. His words were surprisingly affectionate. Leaving Alice with only that, Sojiro headed to Elko's room. Alice watched him leave in silence before taking another bite of the stir-fried noodles. Glancing at the door to the hallway to make sure nobody was coming, she took another bite. She repeated that process many times before finishing her food. It was then that she heard Elko's wrath coming from the second floor. Alice stood up and began solemnly clearing the table, feeling a bit sorry for what Sojiro was dealing with. The wrath of Alsaki. Just hear a blacklight star bow blasting off of the roof. She knew what she did. She knew she didn't really have to, but she felt like it was the least she could do for him. She'd never really expected to feel this way. But he cooked for her, and it was surprisingly good. Almost enough to make her forget how bad he was at making tea. Oh my god, we made it through the scene.
We made it through an entire
there's
scene with little to no effort, or little to no issues, rather.
And
Not
there's
effort.
a new archive. This is definitely what we're calling it for the night because my voice is dying, but...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we both got sick.
That's a fun one.
It was really
Kind
good.
of? Kind of, yeah.
We got sick for like a day, and then it went away. It's weird.
Yup.
God, that was a good stream. Oh, it's not that long for some of the ones we've done. I'll do so after the stream. I'm currently out of water. Can you hold me to it?
Yes. I will hold her to it. Trust me.
Yep, chapter 8.5. We'll get to that next time. But yeah, I think we've one of our stay night streams went on for 7 or 6 hours. Not 7. 7 is the finale of UBW.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was an HA stream. I remember it was with the Sella and Lacerit. Like late at night. It was just like a really good scene. It was like super thought-provoking.
Fucking was, yeah.
Which, we had a bit of that tonight. We had a lot of that tonight.
Just a smidgen.
I'll talk
Just
more
a smidgen
about
of thought.
the things at the start of the next one because, like, I don't want to talk about personal stuff on stream without starting it out first, but...
Yeah.
It's really good. And that's something I really like about Nasu VNs. You think a lot while reading them.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
We do these streams!
Oh.
Ideally. Wednesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. CST. Thanks all for watching live, chatting or lurking, watching along in the pods, or on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully our landlord won't...
Yeah, that was what the fuck happened.
Yeah, just
like landlord showed up and it screwed up the sleep schedule part of it, and then the party. I will hold it to that one as well.
He was just like, I'll be here at 11:30. shows up at 12:30. Also, I realized they cannot sleep when there's strangers in the house. Didn't really know that until... Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
Night, night.